Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the stream. And hey, DG.
Greetings, travelers. How are you all today?
I think DG was talking to me and suddenly I got cut off.
Yeah, that's all right. I know the routine by now. I figured pretty soon that you were getting ready for the stream. How was everyone today?
How everybody doing? Welcome everybody to the stream. 39 people watching already. Good to see you all. By the way, if you want to check out DT Squared, he does have a channel on YouTube. I just dropped the link as well, and it's pinned in the comments there, so you can show him some love. I mean, it's about time I share a link to DG Squared now. After how many times did we do this now?
Yeah, a bit smaller of a channel than yours. Yeah, I don't stream, but I do little videos here and there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
You've been doing some tutorials now lately and guides about building?
I have.
Yep.
Yeah. I've been all over the place. I've been doing some tutorials, some builds, some community work, all kinds of things. I've got a build coming up soon that I haven't released yet. It's been a busy month. How about yourself?
Yeah, you know, constantly busy. And you know, when you think like, okay, let's take a break. I mean, not let's take a break. Like, okay, it's slowing down a bit. Something else happens, and then you have to take care of that. I did want to do something, and it totally jumped my mind now. Unbelievable.
Yeah. There's always something new going on in the community, and in between all that, we've got all these updates that keep coming out and patches. It's been a really busy month, right? We had the new update, and then the expeditions only a few days later. So it's been pretty crazy, I have to admit. I just want to say thank you to everyone who's saying hello to me in the stream. I don't get a chance to type it all out while on stream with Beebs here. So hello, everyone that I have not said hello to. Much love. Thank you very much. It's, yeah, I mean, a lot going on this month for sure. You know, you think it, business as usual, but this one has been really, really busy. So looking for more really fun times to go in No Man's Sky. I'm coming up with some tutorials, like you said there, Beebs. Mostly, I'm trying to get people to think a little outside the box, outside of the normal building parameters, come up with some ideas, and hopefully see some really refreshing new ideas come out in some of the building aspects that we've seen. So hopefully I've done my job right and people see them and use them for their good use on their own stuff.
Yeah, that's also always been my aim as well. If I made guides about it, I always try to not give too much of an answer. I like this is exactly how you build something. I always wanted to give an idea or show the mechanic, and now you take it and do something your own. Because it's dangerous, and it's dangerous to just copy somebody else's builds because you don't get too creative thinking. So I totally understand your your philosophy behind your tutorial as well.
Yeah, right. Like I can show you how I get from point A to point B, but using those same methods and techniques. There's a lot of different things that you can do with them. Lately, I've been using a lot of light boxes lately. I've been finding they're really, really good to, use the universal adjacency glitch from, baiting one to the other, one item to the next item. And they've got a nice little spacing that you can use really, really well.
Yes. And
really,
I think,
really handy. Yeah.
On the freight that they are also very handy. I mean, I think the light boxes, the light floors, and the tables, the bronze desks, these are like 3 good ones to be using in the freighter to be able to move things around and have them perfectly snapped. It's an interesting thing.
Absolutely, yeah, and they've got different spacing that you can use as well, right? If one is too small, you can use one of the cinch it up a little closer, micro adjustments as you call them. That and the teleporter for creating wires. So it's been really exciting. Trying out a lot of these new techniques for the freighter builds. and it looks like they're going to be adding some new parts with the. I believe you guys have got the first hand taste of those with the experimental.
Yes, yes.
So lots of development, lots of changes, and hopefully that they're just going to build on what we currently already have in the freighters. So I'm looking really forward to that.
What did you I mean, I kind of already know the answer, but what do you think of the latest update, Endurance?
Oh, I love it. As all the updates, I always find the silver lining in each and every one, whether it's for me or not, or for the style of what I like to do or not. Obviously, there was building, so I love it. Um, it's nice to see the freighters get some love. We've
Yes,
been
yes.
really kind of stale on the freighters for a while there, and although that we still have the same selection of freighters, um, they've given it a little bit of a facelift with
Yeah,
the new
yeah.
parts. Gone away are the ramps. They gave us ladders and stairs. In a later update. So and it looks like walls too now. So
Yes,
that's really good. It looks like the walls are a contextual kind of a thing. So depending on the room that you build,
yes,
depends on
yes,
the wall that
yes.
you
Yeah.
get.
They follow
So
the wall that you're
that's
building in, yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I would like to be able to choose maybe something a little bit less busy on some of the
Mm-hmm.
walls, but walls and having a partition in the middle of a build actually
Mm-hmm.
make a huge difference. So, um, take what you like out of those parts, and I'm sure we'll figure things out using those as
Mm-hmm.
well. We can build circles on a freighter using the teleport and the teleporter cable. So,
Mm.
the next step is you're going to want walls to put around that circle. So it looks like we're going to have some interesting ideas to work with here. So
Yeah.
exciting stuff.
Yeah, and I do see them adding more, like they now have this possibility to add things to the contextual building as well if they want to. If they, for example, because now we kind of were stuck with if you build in a certain way, the contextual building followed that series, but now because you can choose,
Yeah.
they can also decide to add another wall to your contextual list there, which is now is going to not destroy your build that you have, but it will give you an option to do something else. And I think for the freighter they might also be able to do that now, contextualize the
Uh, yeah,
it,
yeah, you can. You have it's not necessarily a toggle, but it gives you an option. So I'm not sure what the button is on PS4 or sorry on Xbox, but on PS4 and 5, if you press the triangle button, which I
Mhm.
think it's X on Xbox,
um
it gives you the option
no,
of
why
other
why
contextual. Is it Y? Yeah, thank
yes.
you very much. It'll give you that option, right? And
Mhm.
so instead of necessarily a toggle to toggle it on or off, they give us options on which
Mhm.
wall height, I guess you could call it, is going to be the part that you use, whether it's got that capped sort of roof or capped top edge, or if it's the bottom floor regular standard piece.
Mhm.
And there's a couple of other in between options as well. So like
Yeah.
really, really good options. We've been all been wanting this, to be honest with you. I think I know a lot of us were not really too keen on the contextual building per se. It has a place, but I think for the most part, a lot of us builders really liked having an option,
Mhm.
or at
Mhm.
least the option to turn that off.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a really good one. And the swap part function, I think, is very underrated, and not many
um
people have caught on to that yet.
mhm. I've not been playing around with it, but I have a feeling there might be some glitches hidden in that as well.
Oh,
um
absolutely.
yeah, I'm not
I
sure
think
yet,
one of my
but
last.
yeah. Go ahead, DG.
Sorry. Yeah, I think one of the last tutorials I made used that function heavily, um, an airlock door. So,
Mhm.
and one of the other little tricks with that one is if you've resized a part and swap that part, it holds the same size.
Mhm.
So, when people start really exploring this function a bit more, we're going to start seeing some
Yes,
really,
yes.
really
Yeah, yeah.
cool things with
True,
it.
true.
Yeah. Yeah, so very underestimated at this time, but it's only a matter of time before people start looking into that one as well. I think everyone is really busy with the freighters right now.
Hmm.
All these new parts that we have with the freighters. So most people are building ramps and all kinds of crazy things that have never been really seen on freighters, on the outside of freighters for that
Yeah, yeah,
matter.
yeah.
Um, Myself included. Been doing a little bit of work as well. So um, yeah, good stuff. Lots of new mechanics in the game, which we're still discovering, I think. Um, and a couple of names have really come out of the woodwork as individuals who are or independent thinkers have figured a lot of things out, which have made things easier for a lot of us builders who are not necessarily um, as good at figuring out those new things, new glitches, new items, and things like that. So good on you. I raise my glass to all those new builders who figure
Hmm.
out some of
Hmm.
those new glitches.
um, Gary said, "Is Zoo in the makeup chair right now?" He is. He is. Pow- they're powdering his nose. They're powdering his nose. Um, I also I have a feeling. I mean, first of all, I wish that would happen, but I have a feeling we might see some of the freighter parts becoming part of building on the planet as well. I mean, the catwalks, the stairs, these would be such great additions to be able to build on a base.
Oh, they
Um,
really would.
I mean, the
I've seen a
rooms as
few
well, of
say
course,
that it's
but
already.
yeah, there's such it's such a nice style. I love the way they the texture and how everything looks when it's yeah. I can see some really nice industrial builds in the future, or actually making big hangars on planets with landing pads in or something. It would be really nice to be able to actually make such a great yeah. We'll
Yeah,
see.
exactly. A lower orbit space station. When I see that what you've been working on stream lately with the that great big landing area there, it that looks like one of the space station
Mm-hmm.
corridors.
Yeah.
The hangar, and you put a couple of landing pads in there, you got yourself an actual functioning hangar that
Mm-hmm.
looks
Mm-hmm.
just like the space station.
Yeah.
I know complexity is always going to be an issue, but if it's done right, and if you're thinking a little bit ahead of the game, you can get around the complexity enough to uh, make your base look good enough or big
Yeah.
enough,
Yeah.
and still fall under that complexity
Mm-hmm.
limit. You just
Mm-hmm.
have to think a little smarter in some cases, but yeah, no, I can totally see that as a low orbit base. I know a few people would like to have hangars with moving parts or doors that open, as you approach them. That would be kind of a neat little feature. So there's some really great stuff coming. You mentioned using the freighter parts on the planet surface, and
Mm-hmm.
a couple of items that I can think of right away are, like you said, the catwalks. I've seen a few people with the save editor
Yeah.
use some of those parts on planets, and it makes me a little bit jealous. I saw somebody
uh,
make like a dock, like on the water, and
yes. Yes.
he used those catwalks. Man, does it look good?
Yeah.
I looked
Yeah.
at that. I'm like, man, I had to do it with like pieces of wood and make my own railing. You just slap those down.
Uh,
And another thing which a few people haven't really noticed yet is the nutrient processor has gotten a bit of an upgrade to it as
mm.
well. If they did something like that, on planet side, where instead of just building the nutrient processor, a little kitchenette,
Yes.
it looks like a little kitchenette
Mm-hmm.
device. That would look really neat attached to a kitchen. If we were to make something like that or build something like that in one of our builds. So really cool ideas. I definitely like to be able to do that. Intermix parts between planet to freighter and freighter to planet. That would be a really cool thing.
Yeah.
Right now, sometimes I feel like we're a little bit limited on
Mm.
parts for the freighter, but that comes with thinking outside the box. So hopefully, guys like you and me, and putting some of those tutorials together, we can get people to think a little outside the box on what parts you can substitute to make
Mm-hmm.
other parts. So, yeah.
I think we talked about it last I don't know when, some time ago, that I said that Hello Games does this kind of on purpose, where they kind of limit ourselves, as in base building, and then suddenly they give us a part, and we are all very happy, of course. But they kind of, because I think it's just to make sure that there is a constant stream of content for them to be able to release. So if they, for example, one day give us the catwalks, we're going to be very happy with, hey, catwalks, we can now build catwalks on the planet. While they could have done this, this month already. But I think it's on purpose, just to make sure that they have possibilities to just make a constant stream of new things. And, if they have like yeah, go ahead. I was at the end anyway.
No, that's okay. I'm just saying that I think that they like to see they want to know what we're using as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember we didn't have fireplaces for the longest time, and so
Yeah,
we were
no.
making our own fireplaces and things like this. And then just suddenly out of the woodwork, a couple of
Yeah.
people make tutorials on how to make these fireplaces,
Mm-hmm.
and lo and behold, we have our own fireplace. And they've done this a few times with certain components,
Mm-hmm.
and like
Yeah.
fire barrels as well. We've all made our own little fire device, that is external from the fireplace, and so now all of a sudden we have fire barrels. So I think they want to see what the community is,
Yeah.
is building, and what parts they're using, before they come up with a piece that they're going to actually give us. And fire is definitely one of the moving visual graphics that
Mm-hmm.
is a good example of what they've given us.
Yeah, and I think the fire barrel was a very good idea, because that's a free flame. It's because the fireplace, you always stuck with the framework behind it, but because of the barrel, you only have the barrel below. The flame is on top, so you have way more freedom to build with it.
Yes.
But I was thinking about what you just said, and that they did the same with the triangles as well. The triangles came out when we started doing actually real decent circles. They came out with triangles
Mhm.
and said, you know what, make sure that people that don't glitch build can also build kind of a triangle, a circle, which is 12-sided, I think, maximum. So,
Yeah, and depending how you position them around
mm-hmm.
your pieces, you can actually create a 12-sided, 24-sided
Mm-hmm.
circles and whatnot with them as well, which look pretty darn close to a
Yeah.
16-sided circle and 32-sided circles, just by a little bit of adjusting and, and
Mm-hmm.
and so on. So they've given us all kinds of parts to play with. I mean, we'd always like to see more parts. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
let's face it, we're builders.
True.
But we always adapt, and we always solve little problems, and figuring out little things on how to make things work for our own imagination,
Mm-hmm.
and creativity. So, whatever new part they've got coming down the pipes, I look forward to that, using that one now too. So,
I do think we might have to take I mean, for me personally, it's always great to get building parts. I mean, I'm not complaining, but I do think it would be nice that they step away from base building for a while and just focus on something else.
well, there's so much more to the game than just
Yeah,
building. I mean,
yeah,
building is a great aspect of the game and
yeah,
something I truly love. But you think of the other aspects of the game. What are the four pillars of what the game stands for? Trade,
yeah.
fighting, exploring, and I don't know if building was classified into that one as well. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Which one was the
No,
fourth
there's
pillar?
a combat, trading, exploration, and what was the fourth one again?
The same one that I'm having a tough time thinking of what that fourth
See,
pillar was.
no
Um,
man, sky, four pillars. Let me see.
you gotta love Google.
Explore, fight, trade, and survive. That's the four pillars.
Survive. The survive
Yeah,
was the fourth
yeah.
one, right? So there's those aspects within the game itself that they're always advertising. And if you look closely at some of the expeditions that we get, they always have the four pillars
Mm-hmm.
in the gameplay.
Yeah.
And they hold true to that each and every time. They give us a taste of everything that we do. So yeah, the expeditions are a really great way of
Mm-hmm.
introducing somebody to the game who hasn't tried the game yet, and I think has brought a lot of new players to the game as well. So um, yeah, those four pillars. There's a lot more to the game than just one aspect. When I get tired of building, I explore or ship hunt or whatever. There's always something to do. So yeah, I look forward to that each and every time.
I think the one that for the moment is a bit neglected. I think is trading. I think that is the one that could use a wake up call. Um,
Absolutely.
I mean,
Economy systems
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm just I think like there's a lot of I mean we there's a lot of opportunities. This game can go so many directions, and each pillar they can expand so much if they want to. Um, I mean, you saw my guide about my video about ship customization. Not everybody's agreeing with it, but I mean, there is a way to create something like that. Um, but trading, I think, if you think about the settlements we have, our freighters, space stations, there would be, and I think I've talked about this already, that there should be ways to kind of create trading routes with whatever. If you can make, for example, have your frigates can be used to make trade routes or something. I think that might be, a nice way to also expand on, for somebody else that wants to earn money in a certain way or wants to, economic playthrough. I don't know. There's so much ways to just expand on it and give ever. And I would actually play this if I would have trade post. I would definitely use this out and figure it out and play with it. And it would be nice to make content about it as well, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm.
And you could even use it to drive some of the community aspect as
Mm-hmm.
well. There's a lot of talk of hubs and communities and
Mm-hmm.
civilizations
True,
within
true.
the No Man's Sky player verse,
Yeah.
and having routes, economy systems that can be used to boost your own civilization or hub or player based community. Those things all play into that as well. So I mean, they all things like that really tie in nicely to community driven gameplay. So I'd really love to see that as well. I think adding trade to the repertoire of gaming aspects is probably the next step that they
Mm-hmm.
should take, or at least I hope that they take in future updates.
Yeah.
I have no idea what 4.0 is and what it's going to entail, but it's going to be big because they've sure got
Mm-hmm.
a lot of hype for it. And maybe sometimes the community brings a little bit too much hype to updates like that, but it is the 60th anniversary just happened the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and we've got a big update coming. HG, they usually like to have a party and go out with a bang. So I'm expecting something really big and different and unique. We didn't
Mm-hmm.
expect whales, even though we all wanted it. Everybody went, well, nah, we're not getting space whales. Hey, guess what? We got space whales.
Well,
So
well, well.
yeah, they're always surprising us. And what can you say about HG? They listen to the community. They listen to the needs and wants, and
Mm-hmm.
they do their best. For a small group of people, they sure give us some great
Uh-huh.
content.
I mean, they are now with about 48, 50 people. I think 48 people in their company. But I don't know how many people are working on No Man's Sky right now and how many they have focused on their new game. But I feel like the last year, the updates that have been brought are such a great value quality compared. I mean, the previous ones were amazing as well. But man, I have been really impressed with what they have been bringing this year, and I feel like they have might have expanded their No Man's Sky team for this.
They may have. It was a couple of years ago now where they last stated they only had about a crew of 6 people working on it, despite the other game that they're working on.
Mm-hmm.
And I've noticed, that they have been hiring more individuals as well. And like you said, Beebs, they've been working on a lot of big things within the game,
Yes.
No Man's Sky itself, like graphical improvements and changes, improvements, quality of life improvements. You have to think that their team is growing
Mm-hmm.
within No Man's Sky to be able to keep up with these updates and the patches. I mean, one small team cannot do it all.
Mm-hmm.
But they haven't released any information regarding such. So, you know, um, I got to believe
Mm.
there's anywhere from 6 to a dozen people working on the game at any given time, and I do wonder if they interchange some of those individuals.
Could be just
A
not to get
fresh look
burned.
on
Yeah, yeah, to not get
you know.
burned out as well. And I think it's but yeah, yeah. Anyway, I feel like No Man's Sky is going in good direction. Last year, like I told that in the last stream, I felt like No Man's Sky was kind of slowing down, kind of, I wouldn't say dying, but it was falling asleep a little bit. But this year really changed that speed and rhythm for me. Like, okay, this feels like
Yeah,
No Man's Sky feels like it's waking up again. This might be taking a little bit longer than I expected, lasting a little bit longer than
I think
expected.
they were. Yeah, I think they were working on a lot of things,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes when you're working on big problems, it takes a little while to plow through them all. But once it all starts to come together, things fit into place. And over this last year, we've seen amazing updates. When was the last time we saw new multi tools, new ships,
Mm-hmm.
a whole new building mechanic, and a whole host of building parts? They completely redesigned building altogether.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and those are just three items. They gave us new technology to install in those said new things, and they gave us freighter upgrades. They gave us new frigates,
Mm-hmm.
a new graphical look on frigates by giving us
Mm-hmm.
the living organic frigates.
Mm-hmm.
So amazing changes within the game that have really come out of just in this last year alone. And anybody who hasn't played the game in a long time is in for a heck of a surprise because there's some amazing changes to it, um, and all for the better. Honestly, all of it.
What do you think? Do we call in our guests?
Yeah,
Hmm?
I think we're ready. Unless there's something else you want to
No,
address before we get started.
no, it's okay. We can invite him, and then I'm pretty sure that he's itching to talk about this as well. Join. Everybody knows who's coming. Zoo Games. Just have to join the chat now.
Welcome, friend. Nope. Don't forget to press your mute.
Hello, Zoo. Don't forget to mute. Yeah, don't forget to mute.
What's up, everybody?
Zoo
I'm
here.
Zoo here.
Zoo.
Zoo is here. Yes, I did
Yeah,
want to get in
and-
on this conversation. You guys got me all excited. I'm sitting here waiting.
We see you're sporting the hood and everything else. Some of the new items that they've given us within the game. Capes, another new item they've given us. So I mean, wow. What can you say about No Man's Sky? So many great aspects, eh?
Really, what you guys were just talking about with this year, I think you're so correct. I think so many things came together because I did feel like Beebs was saying, it kind of felt like it was just kind of stagnating for a while last year. But this year has just been incredible. And I'm amazed to see things that I never thought they were going to touch again. Like living ships now, you can unlock storage on them and get new upgrades for them with the new frigate missions, which I've always loved frigate missions. Um, it seems like what they're doing is instead of just throwing more new stuff in, they're going back. So
Mhm.
it gives me hope that things that weren't so much fun to me anyway, like settlements, for example, may at some point in the future become really cool. Uh,
Yeah.
I think the cruise on the freight, what they did with freighters blows my mind, and I am loving it so much because not only does it really give you the ability to have that kind of Star Trek vibe now, you can build a big, you know, kind
Yeah.
of enterprise like
Yeah.
thing.
And having
With
crew walk around on it, which is really cool.
yes, the crew walking around adds so much life, and the
Mhm.
windows and the outside platforms with the living frigates. What I've been enjoying the most and trying to figure out is how I'm going to build it. And I want like a really good build where I can go outside, look at all the living frigates. And what's so cool about it is depending on the system you're in with the freighter, you're going to get a different, view. You might
Yeah,
be
yeah.
parked in front of a really cool planet with rings, or you might not. So awesome though. I've been blown away by this latest update. I think they've been killing it this year.
Yes, yes. I mean, also the visuals changes they've been doing. I mean,
Oh,
only
yes.
like the asteroids, for example, and having the NPCs flying around and mining the app. You know, it's just small details, but it adds so much more,
So much.
life to everything.
It's kind of like the first thing I noticed that really, or one thing that was minor but changed so much was when they added the stars
Yeah, from
in
the
prisms.
planets. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was
Mhm.
like just something you never really thought about, but once
Mm-hmm.
they did it, it was like, oh my god, this is amazing. I'm just loving. I am loving the looks, man. They're so good now.
Yeah, they've improved a lot. Warping graphics, another huge graphical improvement. They came out with that one last year, but they've improved upon it even more with the black holes and
Mm-hmm.
moving through pulse drive through the stars and so on. Like you said, Beebs, the meteorites or asteroids now, they have such a realistic look to it, and I also like how they've sort of they made patches of them where they're not always in that specific rings around the solar system.
Yeah.
Now they're scattered everywhere in little clusters, and I
Yes.
think that makes
Yes.
a lot more realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the NPCs on your freighter is just open the door to so much more. I'd love to be able to, have NPCs walking around my base like we do on settlements or now on
Mm-hmm.
freighters.
Yeah.
I think that would add so much more life to, you think of some of the builds that you've made, and sometimes, it feels like a bit of a ghost town. You made this
Mm-hmm.
great
True.
build, and then there's no activity buzzing around it, in a sort of city sort of scene that you may have created.
Yeah.
I think of the Beeble Cove, that one there, that could really use with NPCs walking around and populating the little village, and the kiosks that you've built there. That would be really really kind of neat. So so much more you can see that they're putting into this game, and I think there are little hints as to what we're getting in the future. Honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. Same here. I'm. But before we go into all this, guys, I just want to give a little bit of a shout out. That we are talking to Xxiou Games. I dropped the link on top of the chat there. It's pinned in the comments. Go and show him some love. He's a content creator as well. No Man's Sky. I'm looking at a complete different direction. He's a No Man's Sky content creator as well. He does a lot of building, but he also does a lot of exploration, helping the community out. And he also has his community night, and it's probably going to be tomorrow, no, Xxiou?
Yeah, tomorrow,
Um,
Fridays.
Yep. So if you want to get anything from Xxiou Games and his companions, like eggs, creatures, pets, ships, I don't know, whatever they give you. They also give the Dream Aerial, I think, if you need one. Check out Xxiou Games. The link is up there.
Thank you, Beebs. Yep, community night Fridays. Watch me lose my mind. We give out everything from wiring looms to golden vectors.
I watched that stream and I can watch 5 minutes and I have to go because I would kill some people that are on that stream.
It's not easy. It's not easy. I'll say that. But
There's
it's a
a
lot
load of
of
people.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people seem to enjoy it. And, some people enjoy it because they like to get the stuff, but some people like to, because really in No Man's Sky, aside from the space anomaly, are you really going to see people, like a lot of people, unless you're just playing with a few friends?
Mhm.
So this is an opportunity for people to all meet up on a planet. And yes, every week the planet gets maxed out because it can only hold 32 people. And people start getting put in a different instance and like, where's your base? But I think that's what I think a lot of people like to watch it just for that, just for the craziness and
Mhm.
the chaos of it all. No Man's Sky does not make it easy to put on an event like that with just the whole way, because a lot of new players come to those. They don't know about
Mhm.
portals, they don't have their glyphs, they don't
No,
know
no.
about friend codes even. So tough.
I wonder if they ever gonna give us like an up. I mean, if they ever gonna upgrade the servers again so we get 64 people on a planet, would just be
That would be
insane.
great.
Insane that would be.
Surprisingly, on our maxed out planets, I mean, I don't do much of a base build, but it works okay. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes ships disappear and stuff, but yeah, I never do it. I learned the hard way. Like the first couple community nights, I built like a really nice base, and then I found out that anyone who comes isn't seeing it.
Yeah,
So
true.
now we just do it at a trading post in a dead system.
Yeah, I was actually doing some research for I think it was for my ship customization video, and I was on a dead system. I said this would actually be ideal for Zoo to do like these community nights, so there's no NPCs walking around, but you're already
Oh
doing
yeah,
it. Yeah.
Yeah, the less taxing graphics, the better for events like that. And that's something that I've come to discover and learn as well. Zoo is like as you know, I work a lot with communities and my own community as well. And when an event is being held, you have to think of those things.
right.
You have to think about taxing the system. Base builds that you're putting on there are not necessarily going to be seen, and if they are, well, parts of it aren't going to be seen, or their parts will not render. And so you always want to think about what's going to tax the system and what's going to make it easier on having a number of people show up to
Mm-hmm.
your event and still manage to be seen in the same instance. Even like you said, 32 people at its maximum. Even that has issues at times, trying to get everything to render or the same instance. Um, and even still, game crashes happen, a lot of blue screening, things like that.
Oh yeah,
That's our favorite game. Who blue screens first. Um,
especially
but
PS4s lately.
Yeah, well, it's an older console, and so it's not
Yeah,
getting quite as much love, unfortunately. But I mean that's kind of how it goes with console gaming. Is when that new one comes out, they slowly phase the old one out, and it doesn't get as much love. I've noticed a difference myself since upgrading my console, and that's just part of the nature of things. You get about 4 or 5 years of the old console before they upgrade, and then they slowly phase them out. And if you're not used to that by now, you probably should be, because that's just sort of how it goes with all consoles, Xbox, PlayStation, even Nintendo.
Mm.
All of these consoles, they always get old after a while. And not only that, but not many people think to vacuum or clean the dust bunnies out of them. So I mean, that's going to do some pretty good damage, over time. um, and those fans got to keep that thing cool. I think of all the games I've ever played, no game that I've ever played has ever taxed my console quite as hard as No Man's Sky.
Mm-hmm.
When when that thing turns on and those fans start going, the first time I heard it, I thought I had a jet engine nearby, and I'm looking around. Where's the jet? Where's the jet? Oh, it's my console. Oh, and the heat radiating off of it is pretty intense. So the No Man's Sky has got a lot going on within the game,
oh yeah.
and you know, for
But
consoles to run the game at a consistent basis without completely just crashing on us, it says an awful lot about consoles in general. Really, PCs you're constantly upgrading, and as good as a PC is with its graphics being superior, um, or memory for that matter, consoles do make it easy.
no, I totally agree with that. But I do. I saw the article about the fact that No Man's Sky now can play on the native graphics cards without having any need for like RTX or GTX or whatever.
Yeah, I saw
Um,
that as well. I don't know what that means.
wouldn't that again? Because anyway, I think that is the reason. Because of that is because they also have it on the Switch now. So I think they might have found a way to optimize it in such a way it runs better. But that should also reduce the stress on like the PlayStation 4 and the older Xbox versions as well. I think no.
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense that's how it would go with that. And I think because there's that crossover of new consoles to old consoles, um, they kind of were forced to do that, with the release of the Switch, is to be able to, I guess for lack of better words, dumb the game down a little bit so that the graphics would render or have better renderability,
Mm-hmm.
for consoles or PCs that couldn't handle such amazing graphics, because by doing so, they open a door to a lot more people being able and willing to play the game, because it's not as taxing on a system that they can't, maybe afford. Not everybody can afford a $3,000 computer, or even a $700 or $800 console for that
Hmm.
matter. So, you know, being able to cater to individuals who can't afford the newest, hottest, latest equipment can still play the game and
Hmm.
enjoy it, and have multiplayer. Um, you know, 5 or 10 years ago, would we ever have said that we could do things like that? Um, Maybe not. So opening a door like that is a really big thing, I think,
Hmm.
for Hello Games, to be able to have it accessible to more players out there. And we've seen a huge increase in the players playing the game in just this last year.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. You do see it as
Absolutely.
well, like in uh, the uh, the viewership on YouTube and stuff as well. You see, there's definitely been a big boost since oh my god, endurance update. And now I'm gonna shut up. Tell me, Zoo.
Yeah, I think it was that. I noticed a lot of people coming in on Outlaws.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of new people. I'll get comments on videos I put up a long time ago, like something like I have a video about how
Uh,
to save your game.
uh,
It does pretty well
uh,
with the new players, but I get a lot of new players in my live stream as well.
mhm.
And well, that's one thing, the new players with community night, sometimes I think they're a little too new when they
Uh-huh.
come.
True,
They're
true, true.
where wearing the noob suit, haven't done anything in the game. Um, yeah, I get a lot of messages from people who want help. Sometimes I've gone out to help them, and they're like on the starting planet.
Hmm.
It's like, come on, man, put in a little time. But
No,
but
yeah,
it's
it's
definitely
yeah.
growing. And how else can it grow? They just have to keep selling it since they don't sell us, updates.
No, true,
They're just
and I
gonna
think
have to keep.
that's their aim as well now. That's why they also change. I mean, the updates are also changing the game how it is played, just to
Hmm.
attract a different kind of target group, um, or people that just gave up on it and said, you know what, this is not my kind of play. I think a lot of people came back to No Man's Sky. I think
Yeah,
after the Sentinel update, that's when people started coming back.
I think expeditions are a big part. I
Mm-hmm.
think those are really popular and have done well for Hello Games. And I personally, I like them a lot. Unfortunately, I don't really get to enjoy them anymore because I always want to get a guide out right away. So it's more about the guide than it is enjoying them. But I usually I'll do a guide and then I'll live stream the
Yeah,
expedition
yeah,
as like
yeah. Mm-hmm.
my fun playthrough.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I enjoyed the last one.
It was a
I thought it
chill,
was good,
yeah, very chill
and
one.
I wonder if they're using expeditions to test maybe upcoming features and things like that. I'm thinking back to like Expedition 3, I think it was. Do you remember we started with exotic ships and they had all new engines in them, but we've never seen those engines again.
No, they kind of forced us
Yes.
because otherwise we would be able to get blueprints maybe, but they found a way to block us out now from blueprints from the anomaly.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
I wonder, was that the only reason, or are
I
we
don't
gonna
know. I
see
don't
those
know.
engines?
I don't
They
know.
brought the
You
worms
know,
back.
yeah, yeah.
That's a
Worms
good
on
thing.
infested
That's a good
planets.
thing. Now
That
we
was
just need to get the
something they
visceral
tested.
whatever because I want to pick up the eggs.
Oh yeah, the visceral thing.
You know, there's a
Yeah.
lot of money and nanites in that.
Was that only an expedition item? The
Yes, that
visceral
was that was
synthesizer?
an expedition
Yes.
item,
Hmm.
and
Um,
that be the
there's
eggs
no
give you a lot of
legit way, I don't
nanites.
think, to get it.
No, save it. I think that's the only way. I don't know
Yeah,
if you
you could.
can. Could you make it and give it? Is it an item or a blueprint? I think it's a blueprint.
Can't remember.
I think it's a
It was a
blueprint.
blueprint.
Yeah, I think it's a
Yeah,
blueprint.
it was a blueprint that you crafted, and that enabled you to
Yeah,
be able to get the eggs and farm them for nanites or whatever.
they're great
At the time, it was
nanites.
obtaining the worm folios. But it's
Yeah.
a great way of farming nanites. Absolutely.
Hmm.
It was a stack of 5 will give you 250 nanites, and they're really, easy to obtain just by shooting the
Yeah.
little baby worms. Um, like you said, Zoo, the exotic ships was one of the things that we all sort of hoped for, that they were going to make exotics with unique technology, much like they did with living ships.
Hmm.
And of course, well, living ships, they got an update too. So it's been a couple of years, long time coming for those upgrades to living ships. I know a lot of us really wanted to see more technology and the ability to expand the slots. The slots were not as important to me as it was for having the technology uh, to use on those ships. Like something as simple as the economy scanner.
Yeah, without the
Um,
scanners, I mean, they're basically useless, pretty much.
I wouldn't say
Hmm.
useless, but it made it
Mhm.
so that exploring was more of a randomized thing where you had no idea what you were warping into, what kind of system it was going to be. You had no information regarding it, and for a lot of explorers, you want to know what you're flying into. You're picking and choosing certain systems based on what your gameplay is, whether it's ship hunting or multi-tool hunting,
Hmm.
and knowing the economy or conflict level of that system made a huge difference on which systems that we're choosing. So having the ability to do that now is just kind of a dream come true for all of those people who loved the living ships. And I can think of a couple of people in mind that that's their go-to ship that they've always loved. Flurry Squirrel
Oh yeah.
is he's a huge proponent for the living ships and loves them. I think almost every one of his streams, he does some ship hunting with the living ships. So having that now is a huge thing that adds to the game. We have solar ships and unique technology for solar ships as well. So I think that we're going to see unique technology eventually for the exotic ships. When? Well, who knows? But I think
I
soon.
I think so. Well, I think they're gonna do kind of overhaul all ships at some point. I think they already did it with explorers. Now we have solars, and now we're left with the other ones. So I think they will overhaul them now. So yeah, living ships getting an update was kind of like a secret thing thrown in with this. Like I don't feel like Hello Games made a big deal about it, and that was cool. And another thing that they didn't make a big deal about, that I don't know if everybody knows, but in the next patch, you'll be able to build underwater parts on land.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Amazing.
So no longer glitch builders are no longer unique in that particular aspect
Yeah.
where
Which is good.
we
Which is
used
good.
any part.
I'm
It
I'm,
Yeah,
I'm
is.
no,
really
It
happy about that.
I never saw any reason for it anyway, because those are
Hmm.
some cool parts.
Yes, yes, they are. I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, true. Totally agree.
well, like you were saying about the freighters, like how we like. I think you might be right that they do hold things back so they
Hmm.
can later give us parts,
Yeah,
and we'll
yeah.
be like, oh, awesome. Because like I play on PC and I use the G-base mod
Hmm.
mainly for the reason that it gives me all the build parts on a freighter.
Hmm.
That's that's my main. Now
Yeah.
with the underwater building pieces, you don't need that mod, so they're just making it better and better. I think
Yeah.
building, I think, is just getting better and
Hmm.
better. Building is so fun. The new flaming barrels are
Hmm. Hmm.
phenomenal.
I mean, glitch building is always going to exist, and people have said there's going to be a time glitch building is not needed. Glitch building is always going to exist because we're always going to push that envelope.
Exactly. Always.
but
It will
but
always exist.
it is great to see Hello Games adding things that allows people to be able to build without having to glitch build it. So I hope to see one day they give us circles. I mean, it's just going to make it easier for me as well to make circles. Um,
Yeah.
eh, uh, but then we're just going to use that circle to expand on that, and we're going to glitch build again. With just it's going to be easier to make a sphere because I can glitch build a sphere. There's always a point where you can just push that point further away. But I'm happy to see
Oh
No
yeah.
Man's Sky really adding, just freedom for everybody to use, to build, to just play the game they want to play and how they want to play it.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite
Hmm.
things about the game is it really can be played in many ways. That's why I try not to, like, I don't like if somebody dupes a lot, or
Mhm.
somebody, does stuff like that. I don't look down on them or anything. That's the way they want to play it. Maybe they have a really busy life, they don't have time to grind all this stuff. So I like that, and people play in all sorts of different ways. Some people don't build at all, and then some people only build.
Mhm.
And then I do a bit of everything, I guess, except cooking. Never got into that. I kind of want to now with the living frigates, but from what I heard, it's kind of random. Like, even if you cook the best food, it doesn't mean they're going to get the best stats.
07 Walter for the $5. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Walter. Cheers.
I mean, it was with the expedition that we have to cook. Oh my god, that was the most. That was the most tedious expedition. As was getting the milk but it was a very good expedition to make guides about. This was a perfect expedition.
Yeah.
The worse the expedition is, the better it is for a content creator.
Yeah.
I really like the aspect of introducing parts in the game that we don't always think about. And I was having this conversation with somebody the other day where each expedition gives us a little taste of different types of gameplay, whether it's fighting pirates, permadeath, animals and companions. They gave us the companions, and of course cooking as well. And you got to ask yourself, well, what's next? Well, Bite Beat is next. What are they going to do to Bite Beat? A lot of people forgot about that one. But that's another part of the game, and that's even used in glitch building. A lot of people don't realize that you can use a Bite Beat for a timing system or a timer, right? So like, there's a lot of things that can be done with a Bite Beat, which a lot of people haven't even scratched the surface on yet, and besides just the actual obvious of making music. So to me, I think one of the things that we can expect in one of the future expeditions is probably the use of Bite Beat and to learn how to create our own music. And they'll show us and teach us and guide us, the basic steps of creating some music using the Bite Beat. Now, that might not be your game style, that might not be what you like, but it does give you a taste of every aspect of the game. So I'm definitely looking forward to that and trying something new as well. So I really do like the expeditions for that.
Might be a good way to kind of unlock the next rendezvous. You have to play a certain song before you can go to the next rendezvous point. Like these, there's like these games, you have to press the right buttons, like that kind of Bite Beats. You have to play the same song to be able to unlock.
Like Ocarina of Time.
Yes, that kind of, yeah. Fellow
the
Zelda
Dream
fan.
Aerial plays a song, right? The Dream Aerial does play a song for the whales, and maybe we have to, create a certain song or a certain thing in order to unlock the next level. There's a lot of ways they could go with the Bite Beat, honestly, and adding that to an expedition. And I'm sure they've got a team of people working on something. There's a lot of different things that we haven't even scratched the surface on within the game itself. Exploring underwater, that underwater could always do with a little bit of an update. I think a couple of months back, you talked about, what are we going to get in our next update and what you'd like to see. And underwater improvements is one of those things as well.
Yes, that's definitely something I would like to see.
Yeah, and I think we will at some point. When is always the question, but I mean, we always wanted better asteroids. A couple of years later, well, guess what? We got better asteroids now. Landing on asteroids, that might be something in the future.
There we go.
Wanted that from day one. People have wanted to be able to land on an asteroid and mine that sucker.
I was waiting for that.
Yes,
well,
yes.
I kind of agree with you, especially after what they just did with how elaborate the freighter building is, because you could build a space station. How cool would that be? That'd be awesome.
No, I'm definitely still seeing that happening. I'm still seeing a fact that we can either claim an abandoned space station
or a space base or something like that.
I'm still seeing this happening. pretty sure that is something that is in their minds to release, or they're working on it. But I do understand it's a very challenging um, uh, part of No Man's Sky to be able to do it. Multiplayer based, and multiplayers really make it hard to make things work. Just look at the base computers being dropped all over the place. But yeah, I would love to be able to build just build your own space station somewhere, or be able to make your own hub with a space station. It's such a great little addition that would be, little addition.
Yeah, well, look at the abandoned space stations. To be able to take one of those abandoned ones and repair it, and then that would you by a sense claiming a space station for your own. Same thing with crashed freighters. To be able to take a freighter that's crashed on the ground, put a ridiculous amount of resources in it, repair it, and have it take flight. That's something I've always wanted as well. And I'm sure that there's people are thinking of ways of how to implement something like that. Because there's got to be more to just those crash freighters than just some buried stuff laying around in the ground. You have to believe that they introduced them and have left them there so that they can work on it again at a later date, as they've always done with No Man's Sky.
Yeah, what I would hope for those, because I totally agree. For how cool they are, there's really not that much there.
No.
It would be much cooler if they were like a derelict freighter just on the ground. I think, something like that. But I think they're gonna do something with planets and exploration soon.
Yes, yeah.
One thing I was thinking is we have that new scanner in the freighters. So how cool would it be if you could just port directly to the planet like a Star Trek,
Beam me down,
beam me
Scotty.
up.
Yeah.
Yup, exactly. Just beam down to the planets.
Mm.
That would be like a new piece of freighter tech that beams you down. You could just scan right from the freighter, beam down to the planet you want. But I've been hoping for planets, space station ownership. Yeah, I would like full system ownership. But like if that was possible. And I would love if they could somehow fix if the economy could be useful, or a real thing. It's just with the duping and the tricks and all the million ways to make units and nanites and stuff. It really has no value. It would be nice to have an actual economy with like maybe a marketplace, and we could trade or sell each other ships or bases. That's my dream. I would love something like that, like where you could actually, like someone, all right, Beeblebum's got 5 bases on the auction house. Someone could just buy a Beeble build.
Ooh, very expensive, guys, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. It would be very expensive. And but if the currency was like, something that because the only legit currency we have in the game now really is Quicksilver. That's like the only thing I know of that can't really easily be duped.
Yeah,
I mean,
you can cheat it, but it's not
ways.
dupable.
Yeah, it can be cheated, but if they could come out with some kind of currency that wasn't cheatable and we could have a proper economy, I think that would be a lot of fun.
I think, if they ever want to get rid of that, they have to completely break down the fact that people can save edit, and they have to change the way how saving works, which breaks duping, for example. Although with the save beacon, with the what you call it, the portable refiners, that's still an issue there.
Oh yeah.
All refiners can be used. And any item it seems any item that you can put an item into and not save or make a soft save using multiplayer can be used as a glitch to dupe another item, whether it's a storage container or a refiner. There's a lot of different ways. Exocraft, and it can be done online or offline. There's a lot to this whole glitch there. I think what HG may be afraid of is if they took that away, it might turn down a lot of players who that they do like to do that. You know, it's become part of the game now. You know,
Yeah, it
to
really
be able
has.
to dupe a lot of things, and you know, some content creators have actually based their channel off of it as
True,
well.
true.
You know, so
Yeah.
you know, and well, I will say very quite successfully as well. You know, some people that's what how they want to play the game. They don't want to do, you know, they put in the extra effort. They just want to quickly dupe it and move on to the next part of the game. And all the power to them. You know, HG caters to a lot of different game styles. That's if that's how they like to play the game, then so be it. It's all about enjoyment factor, and you know, you enjoy the game how you want to enjoy the game. So you know, I mean, I don't shame people who dupe. I've duped many times myself. You know, they're in a rush when I'm building and I don't want to go mining
Sure,
or
sure.
whatever. I'll just quickly do a quick dupe and be done with it. But there are times when I do want to actually go through the efforts of gathering those resources or
Mm,
finding those items. You know, like glitches, for example, right? You can only find them on specific planets, and you have to collect them. You know, it's all too easy to quickly get a couple and then just dupe the crap out of those suckers and build something. But to
Yeah.
actually go through the effort, you know, to find that many of them for a build, it adds a little something to your build. And
mm.
I will admit a lot of satisfaction knowing that you went out and personally gathered each and every one of those items in order to put something together that uses a lot of those
Mm.
components. So, you know, each person enjoys the game in different ways. Who am I to say that duping is bad or good or
Um,
either one of the two? So,
the thing is, for me, I mean, first of all, what I wanted to say is about they could make it in such a way that people can still use a save editor, for example, or they can use mods, but it doesn't allow them to join a certain server that allows trading in between players, for example.
That's a great
Um,
idea.
but
Different server rules.
yeah, I still don't see the point if people say, yeah, I'm duping. Why are you duping? Why don't you just play creative mode then? What is so, you know, why would you dupe if you just can play creative? That is what I don't understand still. And I have a lot of people in my
because you still
comments like, oh yeah, you know, just dupe when I made the video about nanites. Just dupe it. But that's not the point. You know, the point that I made this guide of, for example, is how you can get it, you know, honestly, because duping is cheating, in my opinion. Um,
well, it is part of the one of the four pillars is trade, and duping takes away from that. Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, if you feel so strongly about duping, then I feel like creative mode is right there for you.
Yes, but creative mode, you still need to gather some resources. So even on creative mode,
Only
it's not
Quicksilver, no?
it's not your all aspect. Quicksilver, you still need to gather the parts for the glitches. You know, the separators, capillary shells, those glitches. You need to gather those as
Really? I can
well.
build them in my creative mode.
Well, I can't.
No, I think yeah, I think you're right. You do need to buy the Quicksilver stuff, and you would also need to get the Derelict Creator stuff. I don't think they give you that when you start a new
No.
creative save now.
Mm,
Um, but but yeah, like I played the game for many hundreds, possibly 1,000 hours before I ever duped or used a mod. Um, so I think a lot of players also do it just because they, you know, when you've played this game for, you know, 2,000 hours, sometimes, you know, yeah, like you're doing a build. All right, just let me dupe this glass or, you know, whatever the thing may be. Like when I do it, when a new expedition comes out, I always run those legit for a few reasons. One, because I don't want any extra advantage because I want to play it. I want the challenge. And two, because I want to make a guide on it, and it's not going to be a good guide if I'm like, okay, stop here and dupe this. You know, I like to make the guides legit as well. So
The experience is a
I
big
don't
part
have
of it.
anything against it. But me personally,
mm,
I do like to earn the things, and I
mm.
feel like I did earn all the things already. So now, but at this point, yeah, I'm 2,500 hours in on this save. So, you know, I have no
And
problem duping a few things.
again, I don't want to say, like I said in my other video, I'm not judging everybody as duping, but the fact that duping and save editing and modding is possible just makes some things limited. For example, economic trading and economy between players is not possible because of that existing. I'm just saying that. So if we ever want to have this existing in the game, then all that has to be abolished.
I would be
That's the
fine
thing,
with that.
yeah.
I would give that up for
Yeah.
I would prefer an actual working economy with no unit cap. And if you want, because when I started this game, one of the first things I wanted to do was like build up my riches, and so I worked so hard on finally getting to the point where I could build a stasis device farm. Took me forever. Finally built it. I got to use it like 2 times, and then I saw my units aren't going up. And that's when I made my first YouTube video ever on No Man's Sky. Because I was like, it was kind of, I think it was just a rant called "Should You Build the Stasis Device Farm?" Because I didn't know about the unit cap, but that to me was something I enjoyed doing in the game, building a huge farm and making a lot of money. And with that unit cap, it kind of sucks. So yeah, I don't know. I think if we were ever going to have a proper economy, they'd either have to completely remove all that stuff, like you said, or a brand new currency, or like a new game mode or something.
The early days we didn't have duping, and if you wanted to make millions, you had to make a farm. I remember the days of huge farms of Appleman pearls and Gravitino orbs and other plants that we could plant and harvest and sell, or you'd run around on a planet annoying sentinels by collecting Gravitino orbs. Um, and before crash ships actually had a value when you could scrap them, we were using those as resources, claiming a ship, dismantling all the components of technology, grabbing the resources, swapping back to your old ship, and you'd have resources again. There, the fans of No Man's Sky find different ways of enjoyment, and doing different things. Farming isn't necessarily your bag. There, you can scrap ships, and if scrapping ships isn't your bag, there are other ways of making money as well. Whether it's using economy, trading route. Some people create their own trading routes as well. I believe you did a video on that one as well, Beebs, using cobalt and so
Yes.
on. So there are lots of ways of making money, and yes, there is a cap. I do wonder why there is a cap within the game, but there is, and maybe it's a way so that players have to spend the money and then continuously have to replenish that supply in order to say ship shopping. Ship shopping can be rather expensive. Constantly buying and swapping ships. It's not always an even trade when you're buying a
Well,
new ship.
the new frigates are really expensive too. Those are
They
good
are.
unit
They dropped the
things.
price though. The
Did
living
they?
frigates. Yeah, they dropped massively. I think
Yeah, it's no longer a billion
they used to be
unit
1
for,
billion, and now
that
they are
class.
maximum maybe 100 million or something. So they really
Yeah,
dropped prices.
and
S class are really
freighters.
cheap now.
Yeah, freighters were always pretty expensive at a couple of hundred. Was it 250 million? I think they topped out at for an S class capital freighter. Like the units are there to be spent, and if we didn't have a cap, it would be all too easy for somebody just to never have to
Yeah, yeah.
replenish that supply of units again, right? So I think they put that in there just so that we'd have the ability to replenish it and keep the some loose economy or way of keeping people farming or creating another income on a constant basis. They give us an income to earn for settlements even, right, where we collect these items that are crafted there for us. We come and pick up every day, make a settlement decision, and move on. In that aspect, I think that they could actually improve upon that as well. I personally would like to be able to hire a settlement manager and let him make those decisions for a cut of the profits that we're getting from those settlements. So instead of having to collect those items from the settlement, you're using those to pay off, an NPC manager who makes those decisions. If he doesn't make the good decisions that optimal for you, and maybe you fire him, or get another settlement, or who knows that, right? There's lots of different things that you can do just within the economy of the game of making units. A lot of improvements you can make with the settlements with NPCs. We're seeing a lot of those right now, and I'm really excited, honestly, of all the changes that they're implementing into the game. They've made things a lot better. So, they may do something like you suggested, Beebs, with servers, segregating
Mm-hmm.
those who want to use those forms of gameplay, which some of them affect players and some of them don't.
I
So
mean,
it,
I'm, I mean, I feel like modding and whatever, modding and save everything and duping, it does add a new gameplay style, whatever. It gives you another freedom. But it would be nice to be able to play a style that you are playing with players that do not have that. I think maybe, because I was thinking like, let's say permadeath or survival, you can build yourself indium, activated indium farms, but the resources deplete. That would be a great addition. That means you really have to, once your farm is depleted, take it all up again, move it to another location, build it up again. I mean,
yeah,
I know a lot of people are, I don't have time for that, but then don't play permanent, play normal. But
well,
it,
is a unique
yeah,
experience.
I think challenges in the game are nice, and I think a lot of players are always looking for a challenge in a game. If there's no challenge, the game gets boring, people step away and they start playing another game.
Absolutely. This is a survival aspect type
Mm,
of game. And like you said, depleting, resources. I think I may be wrong on this one, but initially when they had resources that could be mined with what they called autonomous mining units at the time, you would place them down at a certain location and it would just mine for you and you'd come by and you'd pick up those resources. Initially, when they introduced those, those things depleted and you would have to pick them up and
yeah,
then
yeah,
move
yeah,
them
yeah,
to
yeah.
different
True.
locations
Yeah.
because they would, after a certain amount of mining, they would not grow back,
Mm-hmm.
whether it was gold or silver or whatever items, iridium for that matter, if you guys remember what iridium is. Those things, they did deplete initially, and then those mining units became a lot of people found that they were not working for them anymore, and I think they just sort of phased them out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we see the introduction of the new mining units that we have
Mm-hmm.
here, so where you can harvest things. So,
Still great
but
building parts though.
strangely enough, they're still in our build menu. Um, they might not work, but you can use them for something,
Mm-hmm.
um, even if it's just building. So.
It seems like it's getting confusing. Like now we have new people coming in the game and they're coming in on an expedition and
Mm-hmm.
that's their first experience. And
Yes.
so I'm wondering what this is going to lead to in the future. Is it going to be like super confusing
Yes,
for these
yeah, I think
people?
that's a case. I think actually we had somebody in the stream yesterday as well that didn't have a save point, and it might
Yeah.
have been somebody that did an expedition, didn't do the base computer mission, and for that didn't get the save point. So I think indeed the expedition will cause some players to be really confused about the game, like where to start, what to do now.
Yeah. What do you do?
Yeah,
Yeah. What
yeah.
I made a video about like what to do after the expedition's over
Mm-hmm.
to help some people maybe, but it's confusing because and people are coming in during different expeditions, so they're gonna have
Mm-hmm.
different tech, and different. So I don't know. I really love the idea of different servers with different rule sets. Like
Mm-hmm.
for those people who want that. There's people who play No Man's Sky who like to shoot things a lot. So,
Or
give them that
PvP servers,
yeah,
yeah.
give them a PvP server. And then you could have like, a legit server.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I don't know how they would do all these things, but
The thing is the money, of course. I mean, maybe they need to do like a certain pay to join. I don't know, service. The thing is, I don't know. That's again a
Yeah.
lot of work, and depending on how many people want to pay for that. I mean, we do have a lot of community members that are, I wish I could pay another DLC, but that's not everybody. I think there's only 20% of the community that would pay for a DLC, really would pay for the DLC, and wishes for paying.
Well, yeah, and a big selling part of No Man's Sky is all the 20 free updates. They push that. So if they all of a sudden, the thing is, if they started charging for anything, it better work. Because every update is broken right out of the gate.
I think that's also their selling point. We're not, it's free, but don't expect miracles.
Yeah, it's free, but it's gonna be broken. But
I mean,
it's
a good thing. I've been playing this game for 6 years now, almost 7,000 hours, and I paid only €60 for the game. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and probably countless more in building, as Build Camera doesn't count those hours.
No, I have six. I know I have a 7,000.
Oh, you use the Steam. Yeah, I guess
Steam and PlayStation also has the time, but you cannot see it. You have to check it on the website.
Yeah. So I know I've got plenty of hours. I don't even want to talk about how many hours I got. It's almost embarrassing. But the
is it over 10K?
It's pretty damn close, yeah.
I think if you talk to someone with a PlayStation 5 DG, they should be able to let you know how many hours you played.
Yeah, you have to go into the settings menu, and that'll tell you. But it's only counted on the PlayStation 5. It's not. It doesn't count the PlayStation 4. So there's a certain gray area there, but you add up all the saves and all the time and so on like that, and I've calculated a little bit here and there as to the amount of time that I build as well, and it's getting up there.
A lot. You can really spend a lot of time here, and that's one of the things I love about it, because to me, No Man's Sky is not just a video game. No Man's Sky is a universe that Hello Games created, and yes, there are video game-like things you can do in it, but if you want, you can just come and just relax on a planet and enjoy the beauty of this game. And I think the beauty for me is that's what keeps me here. I mean, and the more beautiful they make it look, like that's why I'm so excited with the new freighters and the living frigates. I can get those. I could build up on my freighter and just look at them, and it's like living in another world, I think.
Yeah,
that's the way I see it. I don't look at it just as like another video game.
I'm always. I mean, there's a lot of people asking what is No Man's Sky, what kind of game is it, and it's not a space simulator, but it does have a certain life simulation. You can just step into this, live a second life in here, and just take a break of what real life and what the troubles are with real life are.
Yeah, I mean, even the community aspect, which isn't in game, the communities that we've formed within this game, yes, it revolves around playing of the game, but a lot of the activity comes from the communities themselves through the Discords and Reddit sites and Twitter and the things that go on, with sharing a lot of those discoveries and pictures and things like that, and of course tutorials and other things. YouTube is a big portion of that as well. So like it's more than just a game. There's a entire group of people that run communities that also it drives the game as well. And having those communities thrive is a big portion of the game, whether it's a YouTube content creator or whether you're on Discord or Reddit or what have you. There's so many aspects to the game that make the experience of not just playing the game but being part of a group of people who enjoy that same game as well. Really adds a lot of improvement to escaping some of the real world problems and stresses that we each all have. I use it myself as a bit of an escape as well, to be able to just log on and hang out with a few people in a Discord and chat while playing the game, sometimes not playing the game or whatever. There's a lot of different things that you can do. I just wanted to quickly go back to what we were discussing earlier about servers. A lot of other games, you can rent servers, and the ability to
Dedicated,
rent
so.
those servers. That's right, dedicated servers, and yes, supposing a community rent a server, they're the ones who make the rules on
Yeah.
what is considered legit or non-legit or
Mm-hmm.
acceptable to do in those servers. And so, like, for example, if you were one of the people that do enjoy duping or use that aspect in your game, perhaps certain servers or certain communities would allow that in their community.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
anybody
good.
that is duping isn't necessarily, I won't say not welcome, but that's not something that perhaps that community
Frowned
likes to
upon.
take part in, right? Yeah, right. I mean, some people do and some people don't. Who's to say whether it's good or bad? But
Mm-hmm.
if you had rented a server, perhaps a group of people that do rent that server, they play a certain style of gameplay, and that's a good way of having servers without adding it to the game and having
Yeah, that's actually a good idea.
cost an arm and a leg for
It would
No Man's Sky
That would be a good idea,
developers.
actually. Just have one galaxy that you can actually, every dedicated server only has Euclid Galaxy, which is enough.
Yeah, that's plenty.
Yeah, and you just have your own
yeah,
dedicated hub there, and people can join you. And if somebody doesn't do what they need to do, just kick them out, and there, the server is safe again.
it would definitely, yeah, it would definitely, reduce the amount of what we would call trolls within
Right.
the community or others. Base destruction or vandalism, things like that would no longer really be an issue because they would be on a rented server. So,
Mhm.
you know, little things like that are different ways that they could allow the game to grow and still please all the different types of game styles, whether it's duping, PvP, building. There's so many different ways you can take that. So I think that might be a route that they may want to explore in the future is the ability to rent servers because to charge for updates. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of people that would pay to have an update.
Mhm.
And like you said, Zoo, if you're paying for updates now, that you would hope that they would actually not have as many bugs, because now you're paying a price for that thing. You expect it to work, right? It's a
Right.
service that you're paying for, and that might be a loophole that HG uses is the fact that they're free, but you can't expect it to be perfect
Mhm.
each and every time. And
Mhm.
remember, back in the day when they first released the game, a lot of people were really upset they paid money for a game that wasn't what they expected. And how they helped a lot with that was, they were allowing the game to be returned, and they were giving free updates to keep those players playing and to bring new players back into the game. And that may be a formula that they've been using, is to give free updates to build its base, and really your own. They're introducing new players by means of buying the game, but the updates are all free. So they're still making money, but not hand over fist making money with each and every update.
Mhm.
And it's a draw for a lot of people. So
I think this kind of the conversation we just had about dedicated servers, that might be something that actually is going to happen, but somewhere along the way, where when No Man's Sky kind of slows down, where the updates have been done, when everything has been fixed, that they allow dedicated servers. That might be somewhere in the in the future.
the servers are costly. They do cost the company money to have
True,
that available space to play online.
but
And
having a dedicated server yourself, it's pretty cheap. If I can make myself a dedicated server and then just install No Man's Sky on it. There's
yes,
a way to do that. Um, for the moment, I think that's hard for them to do because they will have to update constantly every update to every dedicated server. But I think that might be something. There's been games that completely died down, but have this core group that wants to keep on playing it. That they made an update for it so people could play it on a dedicated server without the developer having to provide that service anymore.
yeah, I would think updates that would include a package for
Mm-hmm.
certain
Mm-hmm.
aspects, that an owner of said server could upload and then have available to their users.
Yeah.
Say you want to play vanilla, well, the user would not subscribe to putting some of those updates in the game, and it
Hmm.
would just be constantly vanilla
Yeah.
No Man's Sky for umpteen amount of time. And should they want to experience the new things in the game again, then the person who rents that server would have to download those updates in order and to implement them into that rented server. So I think there are ways of doing it. Definitely, it's whether or not HG explores that and feels that it's worth it for them to
Yeah.
do said
I
thing
yeah.
and introduce that.
I think this is an end game decision they probably would do only when the game kind of
Yes.
ends up. No more upgrades when they said, this is No Man's Sky, this is finished, and now we focus on new games.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah.
it can't last forever. Eventually, they have to focus on new games. In a sense, they are a business, and they are there to make games and make money doing so. Otherwise, if they're not making money, they can't afford to pay their employees.
That's what I've been telling as well. And
can't get around it.
they are a company after all. They are a company after all.
Mhm.
And they need to sell boxes, or they need to sell new copies, like pretty much all the time, which is hard.
I really
don't know what they're
hope they bring some more actual No Man's Sky merch. I wish I could see a ship. I wish I could see something like an Atlas statue or something as a building, as like a merch, because I would buy that. It would be here behind me. It would definitely be something I would buy. Yo, Mihal Abby, thank you so much for the £10 super chat. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I agree with you, Beebs. I missed out on the train in the early days, getting the the box set with the little model ship and everything. What I wouldn't kill to get one of those myself. As it stands, you can, but it's going to cost you an arm and a leg on eBay. I was one of the lucky few that took part in the ARG that allowed me to obtain a Atlas V4 pass, I believe it is.
Oh, nice.
So I've got that, locked away in a little special place where it doesn't get damaged. But little items like that, I think to be able to buy items at the merch store would definitely open up money generating revenue for them. For the game that would help. As it stands now, they do have a merch store, but the is somewhat of a limited list of things that you can order. And I've talked to a few people within my own community, and they've had difficulty having those items shipped to them. So I'm not sure with the world of COVID and the state that it's in right now, it's very feasible for them to be able to get those items to their customers. So
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've seen some great ships that are like the 3D printed, and they are really clean finished, but they are €300. So these are really expensive pieces.
Well, those 3D printers aren't cheap to begin with.
No, these people are also private printers, So I'm a private printer. Printing for money.
Most of the items that I see are, about the size of a thumbnail. They're not very big. But some of those 3D printers are really cool, and they're very clean. There's a couple of people around the community who offer that as merch that you can buy. But it does leave room for No Man's Sky to have their own merch store and print their own items as well, right? So
they could do well with that, I think. But it's probably a matter of it needs a dedicated person.
Who says I doesn't? Who says I don't, Kadina? Who says I don't? Zoo, while we're continuing this chat, what do you think about visiting your one of your bases?
I don't. I'm trying to think if I have any good bases.
You didn't prepare for this?
Well, I destroyed my freighter base.
You destroyed your freighter base.
Well, I started rebuilding it, so there's not much to see up there right now. There is the zoo hub, which has some nice bite beat work.
We can go check out
there's-
whatever you're proud of. If you have like a
Giggity,
pyramid or a
giggity.
kaleidoscope, or you have a few builds now that
oh,
are still
actually,
existing.
Yeah, you have a portal out here.
Yeah, there's a portal right at the door. We will have to go to the.
Space anomaly.
Yeah.
All
but we
right,
can-
let me run out to the new zoo hub that's currently in progress, but it has a lot of pyramids.
Whose testicle is this?
Okay, this conversation went a completely different way.
When you were talking about Flowery Squirrel, you know that if I watch his videos, that all his videos are sponsored by Manscaped.
What?
You know that Flowery Squirrel's videos are all sponsored by Manscaped.
I hope they're paying them. Get that Manscaped money, Flowery.
No beeps.
Okay, I am out here.
Alrighty.
Just
over
let me.
there.
Just let us know when
Don't-
you're there.
I'm there. Don't get too excited. Bit of a mess right now. Some scaffolding up.
No worries.
But there's some nice kaleidoscopes here. And I've really been... I'll tell you guys what. The flaming barrel is perfect for kaleidoscopes.
Mm-hmm.
They really are cool. There's a lot of things you can do with those. I
Yep.
did some experimenting when they first popped, or when I first completed the expedition, and wow, there's some really cool things you can do with it. You know, I remember when it was first introduced, I had experienced somebody had unlocked it with a save editor and showed me a couple of little things that they could do with it, and the fire graphic, that it had was a little bit different, where it would always be pointing upwards, like gravity would affect it. But they made that little change and snuck it in there, and I've noticed that gravity is not necessarily an issue with the fire barrels anymore. So if you glitch it upside down, that fire burns downwards. So that's kind of a nice little feature that I actually really like. So building them in a circle, you can create a nice ring of fire.
Yep.
Of course, you know, it just makes you want to jump the one of those exocraft right through it, like Super Dave Osborne or something like that.
Yep, already tried.
You got to make a big circle because
Yeah, mine wasn't big enough. I realized at the end.
So, Zoo, once you're there, let me know
Pretty
so we
circle.
can jump out of the portal, the anomaly.
Oh yeah, I'm there.
Okay.
I've been here. Yeah, we're at Outlaw Town.
Okay. Planet Tiamat, I believe.
Yep,
Okie dokie.
lovely planet.
Oh yes, I like those bubbly planets.
That's a really nice one. Blue water. Built right next to crashed underwater freighter.
I think I got some pirates to deal with. I'll be there shortly.
Oh, them.
Yeah, those guys. That's all right. I'm in a decent ship. I can just shoot them out of the sky. Where are you guys? Come on now.
Hopefully this loads. I can. Some people built really kind of too close than they should have.
Yeah, I know.
Like 276 U's away.
That would be another thing you can do in a dedicated server.
Yeah, change stuff like that. Well, yeah, I mean that's actually a big problem at the community nights. We've had some trolls who somehow can get around the base building. I don't know how they're
I
doing
know.
it,
Mods and just expanding the base beyond the
yeah,
and Blender glitching as well. Not Blender glitching, Blender. There's some builders that are using Blender to just completely
oh, just push a build right in.
yeah, they build a
Yeah.
base completely on the opposite side.
Yeah, luckily it's
There's always a way. You know, often you say this in the real world. If you can break in, you can protect it, and if you can protect it, then there'll always be somebody who will find a way to break in, or crack a safe or something like that. There's always something and somebody out there who will go to great lengths to do whatever they feel that they want to do. Somebody always has to buck or fight the system, and that's fine. Some play it how you will, right? Some people like playing the game differently. I don't like that. A lot of players, force certain things on the other players by doing things like that. But it's always going to be something that people are going to have to experience and have to deal with in any video game. That's just how it is, right? And you can never really get rid of griefers. Wow, there's a lot of really cool graphics here on this planet. I like what you've done with some of these things.
Thanks. Yeah, Beebs, that's the other base that somebody built too close. There's a nice kaleidoscope portal up here.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably one of my best kaleidoscopes I've done. I did do
Which
this
one?
before we got
By the one by the landing pad?
up with the landing pad.
Yeah, that's got a really nice graphics to it. I like how you use the bubble pipe and lifting separators and what looks like the planetary globe, spinning globe thing there.
I think that's it. Yep, the spinning globe is in there, and also glitched in the very center to give that kind of pulse is that squid thing.
Yeah.
That squid thing you could place, and there's also a portal in there that works.
Oh, nice.
Turn off this effing vignette again.
Right up to it there. Yeah, I see it. And we're still having issues with power on multiplayer. That might be something that they might need to work on in the future.
Oh, yeah.
Multiplayer and power.
Multiplayer and everything. Multiplayer is just...
Seriously, they need to get rid of these discs as well on top of these bubble vats.
I'll tell you what, I had the bubble vats before they were in the game, and they didn't have those. They updated it to have those. So
but that's a mistake as far as I know. That just doesn't make any sense, that disc hanging above it.
I agree. It's a graphical issue that shouldn't really need to exist.
I'll just write it down again, because, I've been writing a lot of stuff down to Zendesk and then I forget to send it. Let me just...
Some really, really cool build.
Let me just put the camera
here on this site.
So, bubble vat
like
disc.
The pyramids.
Yeah, so basically the idea with the pyramids, every one would be decorated differently inside, but I haven't finished all of them.
Kind of reminds me of the pyramids of Giza.
Yeah,
where you've
that's
got the
what I was
pyramids
going
all
for.
laid out.
I'm really into that. Actually, I want to do a build challenge out to anyone in the community to do a build of the actual pyramid of Giza, but you have to build the internal structure as well, which is really complicated.
That is a challenge, yeah.
Oh, Zoo, did you see my base visit I did from, who was it? Was it Jurun? I think it was Jurunche.
Yeah, the last base.
That was an amazing... You would love it. Because
I don't think it's fun.
It actually has like the mazes and doors closing behind you and things like that. And you go up, you go down.
Really
it's really well done. I think you would love that one. I might have to send you the links of the glyphs so you can check it out.
Sure.
Very cool things in there.
Pyramids.
Unfortunately, the doors aren't opening for me with the power on, unfortunately.
Just to know, guys, I was the original discoverer of pyramids.
We know, Beebs.
I still, as soon as we got as soon as I went to experimental, one of the first things I checked was, do the old pyramids snap the way they used to? Because I still prefer to build them
that stupid little pyramid doesn't snap. The pyramid cubes, they don't snap. There, Grandpa. The thing is, seriously, that we were actually challenging. We were actually, competing with each other, like Action Pens Gaming, Kibbles, ER Burrows, Chaos Rider. We were all trying to make a pyramid, and man, there was such a race to be able to find the best way to make pyramids out of triangles.
Well, they're still kind of difficult.
Ooh. Well, I'm releasing a tutorial tomorrow, Zoo, with
you have a new technique?
Well, it's the same technique, but it's just with endurance. You have to be careful with the wire deleting, so there's gonna be a new tutorial coming tomorrow.
Good. Yeah, awesome.
Still has to render in, it seems, the kaleidoscope for me. Is
It's
it only
not
a
full
half?
one. I
It's
just
not. Okay.
Yep, I just left it half.
Okay, now.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah,
It's got the little. I used the those new floating cubes in that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when they're all synced up, they cluster together. I noticed. It looks really good. I like how you use the
really
little
cool.
whale calf. I think they call that.
Yep. Yeah, the new whale piece.
The best way I've seen them for the moment is in a barbecue.
I've glitched them around in a circle, and they make an interesting cluster of things, or a flower-type shape. There's some interesting things you can do with them. Resizing, I like them to be resizable, but we always have a way around that with our sizing glitch. But they're kind of a cool and interesting piece.
Now, this is an interesting build because the final pyramid is underwater, but it's not underwater. When you go in it, you'll be underwater.
Yeah.
It's like one of those weird things. And it's crazy because it wasn't always like that. Like when I first built it, it's like, so the water level changed on this planet somehow.
Yeah, I'm actually standing, I cannot look up, so I'm right on the edge of the water. Yeah.
But I think
very cool graphics under there.
Yeah,
Yep.
I just wanted to, like, this floaty room I like, so I just wanted to,
This is pretty cool.
yeah, it was an accident.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect for, like, doing an effect for something. I'm floating, but...
Well, yeah, and oh, yeah, I actually started something down here, too. Oh, my God. I actually built something big down here. If you swim down the little path where the stairs are, I forgot about this.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I like what you did there with the center and everything. It's almost spinning, or gives the illusion of it spinning there in the center.
Oh yeah, it kind of does. I don't even remember how I did. I have no recollection of doing this, but apparently I did.
Yeah, those little light fissures all glitched together. Looks really nice.
What's kind of weird about, like, when you glitch build underwater, or do like a build like this underwater, you can't see it from above the water.
No, you have to be underwater with your camera.
Yeah. You can see there's something there, but it won't. Which is I was kind of hoping this would show a little more. But
if you look at it from the underside, it has a really neat effect.
But does it show underwater? It does show if it shows, but it doesn't show the effects. Yeah, it doesn't show the effect. Yeah, the water kind of breaks the color and the animation.
Yeah. So what do I have in here? Light fissures. Just a bunch of light fissures and racetrack stuff.
Yeah, I love using the racetrack initiators.
Oh, they're fantastic.
Those have
One
a
of my favorites.
wonderful effect. Yeah, wonderful effect, and they add so much to a kaleidoscope, or even I've even used them for placing them around a landing pad, almost like a flashing beacon, and that's kind of a neat effect as well. If you haven't tried that. There's some really cool things you can do with them. I even thought about, I'm hesitant to say, but you know how Beebs showed us how to put light floors in the corners of our pyramids. Yeah. I had thought might be an interesting effect of, instead of light boxes, light floors, putting in the race initiators down the
Oh, that's
seams
cool.
of the pyramids.
That
It
would
might
look
make an
awesome.
interesting, might make a really interesting effect. So if anyone out there beats me to it, good luck. I hope it comes out successfully. Now that I've said it, so
They do. I agree with the fact that these computers, these kind of ruin the view of it.
they
there's-
do.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah.
way around it. You either have to hide them or, you know.
Yeah. Now,
Just
if you resize them to a smaller size, you might be able to get away with putting a
Hmm.
series of them down the seam, and the little computer box there, or the initiator box, might be a little bit more hidden.
These feed
yeah.
generators are just perfect for light. I'm telling you.
They are really cool. Yeah.
Hello Games needs to
I
give
use
us
them
more
all the
light
time.
options like this.
Oh yeah, more lighting options, just random different lights that you can
Yeah,
put
just
around.
just a
that
light
would be
spot,
so cool.
just a light spot. Like boop, you put a light spot and you get the same color without having to install the effing generator.
Yeah,
That would be
actually,
kinda neat.
there's the Euclid EA mod. If you ever looked at that, that has a huge assortment of different lights. It has lights that, like, when you stick them to a wall, they spin in a circle. Has all these cool lights. But that's one of those mods. You know, it's fun to play around with, but you can't actually use it. Nobody can see your builds if you use it.
Like the golden globe that you've created here. It looks really nice.
Oh yeah, those are cool. That's a fun one. Thank you.
Yeah.
What Flowery? What do
How
we
many
need to write
are in
down?
that? 16, 32?
A random number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 24.
24. That one's actually missing a spot. It's got to be rebuilt.
It's a very nice selection of builds here, Two Games.
Yeah,
As you can
actually, Katrine built one of the pyramids here, the best looking one. Because I can't build them without my parts snapping backwards. I can't figure out that.
Well, I hope that new tutorial gives you a bit of an idea. You just need the wire glitch and the reverse wire glitch, so they should be not too difficult to build it.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's actually the reverse wire glitch seems to be working better since the update for me. Because for a while I was having a lot of trouble with that one. So I'm still playing with on mouse and keyboard. Now, Beebs, I know you build boats in the game, so don't get jealous when you see the boat I built.
I already saw it.
It's
Let's go
comparable.
take a look at the boat.
Oh, there's no boat. Doesn't open up.
It's supposed to.
There it is. Hey, it looks like a party cruiser. I like that.
Yeah, I wanted it to look like an Egyptian-style boat with like the curly front, but I couldn't figure out how to do it. This is the best I could do.
Dunk.
You would need to build a much larger boat to get the curvature in there. But,
Yeah.
no, you know what? I like it. Its simplicity. It serves a purpose and has a nice style to it. It looks good, actually. I quite like
I
it.
just thought it'd be a nice thing to put there. But I plan on getting this all connected at one point. I'm still. I had a stadium. That's what I was working on up in where all the scaffolding is. I was building a stadium up there.
Like an arena or something.
Yeah, like an arena. I got the idea from Katrine, and I don't know. I didn't like it. So I don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, I did try to build it as well, and I don't know, it's very hard to get it look real like you want it to. I seen better arenas than I could do in No Man's Sky. I seen better in Valheim style, because the stone is a little bit more rougher. This looks too clean, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the way I was doing it was like a circle of stairs kind of thing.
Yeah. No, it's a bit of a. I mean, you can break it up with some roof tiles maybe or something, or floors, but it's yeah. Quickly before he gives something again to me.
apple ice cream. I'm gonna feed it to one of my frigates.
Yeah.
Every
Sorry,
time
yeah,
after
yeah.
after Studio 16, I have to clean up my inventory because there's a lot of cakes and stuff in there.
I always give Beebs donuts and cakes and things like that. Well, I like crafting some of the food items. I think there's somewhat fun giveaway of items that you can give away to players.
Yeah.
And now there's actually a use for them, so that it makes it a little bit more fun for me to craft and give them away to people as well. And
You know,
you know, the NMS Assistant app is perfect for that.
oh, it's
I know there's a lot
fantastic.
more to that. There's a lot more to that app than recipes, but you know, if you can't remember all those recipes, well, grab that app. I'm telling you,
Yeah, the No Man's Sky
it'll
Assistant
really
app.
help.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a fantastic app, and that's just one of the many features that you can use it for is being able to have those recipes on hand and craft all kinds of weird and crazy things. You know, like the apple ice cream, for example. There's a lot of things that you can do, and there's somebody that I know in the cafe who's been working on a spreadsheet on what items do what things for your living frigates. Some things improve combat, other things improve industrial and trade, and so on and so forth. So that's a
I was
growing
kind of
list of
hoping somebody
things.
was gonna do that. That's good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's always somebody within the community that's going to be working on things like that. So hopefully that list will be close to completion pretty soon. But there's a lot of food items to go through. Honestly, there really is. A lot of them do the same thing, but you don't really know until you start crafting and feeding it to your space whale, and it takes time because you got to send them. You always have to you know feed it and then see what it does, and then craft another, feed it, see what it does, and it's just a process that takes a little bit of time each time you build something new. But yeah, that's a new aspect in the game which I'm absolutely loving. An actual use for those other than to give Kronos, who seems to have a interesting appetite and never a very good payoff with nanites.
Yeah, that is the problem with him. He's cheap with the nanites. I heard even when you give him like the best stuff, you don't get that much.
Hey, you've heard about Gordon Ramsay. Well, this guy's, I think Kronos is probably even grumpier than Gordon Ramsay, I tell you.
It is really interesting that they decided to give food another use. Like, was that planned ever? Probably not.
I don't know. I like that they
Pretty
have,
interesting.
an
Yeah.
item for food, but I would like it to do more than just what it had done in the game. Now, I mean, one of the things that a lot of people did not realize with the food items is when you consume them, they will give you bonuses to certain things like jetpack bonuses, stamina bonuses, um, replenishing your health or shielding, and so on and so forth. But nobody really used it for those things, since life support and all the upgrades really, you don't necessarily need a bonus, but um, it was nice to know that you could use those for those types of things. I like being able to feed them to our space whales now. I think that it gives us another thing that we could use them for, and another reason to craft them, and another reason to explore the different world of crafting those recipes, because you have to go out and collect all the items for them, like milking your creatures, gathering eggs, and meats, and various other parts of the game, basic resources in order to craft them in the nutrient processor. So yeah, just another aspect that Sean at HG has given us. I like That's a great shot there, Beeps. I like that, standing on top there, all glowing gold and everything. Golden Gek would be
cool.
absolutely jealous over that one.
Yeah, he's always jealous of my golden colors. Very nice, very cool zoo. A very nice selection of bases.
Yeah, I'm sorry I don't have much better, but I had to delete so many bases to do this one, and then I had to, because I have all these community night bases. They've all turned into, like, everything I have is community night stuff now. Like, all my pets are things that give out at community night, and
It is
I don't
consuming, isn't it?
I don't have any of my own stuff anymore. And then I end up with random stuff in my inventory, like happiness and things you didn't know people could give you.
You might want to try creating a new save altogether just for those events, so that
Not
you're
a
not
bad
using
idea.
your complexity. I have saves on my regular account and my alternate accounts, that I use strictly just for helping people. Somebody needs an item in the game, like for example, this time around, a lot of people need. Are you shooting at me?
Eh? It was an accidental shot. It was an accidental shot.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I just
Don't
wanted.
shoot.
I wanted to pull out my. I wanted to pull out my multi tool, but yeah, it shot the accident. Because to be honest, they gave you a really nice effect though, DJ, because you were on fire. Did you see that? Look! I'm gonna do it again.
I did, yeah. I hadn't noticed until I looked on stream and saw that there was a reason for my glowing.
Damn it!
A trick from my old bag there. That's a nice one.
That's what I do to people who get out of hand at community night.
You just stick them in a box. Yep,
We call it the zoo tube. When people
This has been so long. This has been so long ago. Somebody tried it with me.
Yeah, you call it a zoo tube. I call it the no square. Put them in a box, a glass.
So it was
room.
neutron blue splitter. Look at that. Look how cool this looks.
People love the zoo tube. I even made it. It's one of my new emotes on the channel.
Yeah, you can trap animals in there. You can trap NPCs.
Oh my god!
It's like putting them in a jar.
You should see when we did the streams with ER Burrows and Nirvana and Action Pants Gaming, the amount of time people were zoo-tubed, as you call it. We had a troll. We were chasing that troll with all the stuff we had, glitching underneath him, trying to catch him, but very funny.
You got to be fast on the glitch. That's for
yes,
sure.
yes, especially with multiplayer.
Yeah, well, the nice thing is that you can run up to 200 feet or 200 units with a cable. So by using the cable to resize something there, you can just place an end and follow the character until you have
true.
that sweet moment, and bang, they run right into a wall, and it's quite funny when it happens. They stop, they look. It's almost like the mime on the street that puts the hands up and does the fake walls kind of thing. There, like, hey, I'm in a box. And then they try and shoot, and of course nothing happens. Yeah, you know what? It's a great tool to combat against PvP trolls, and it's very effective. Nothing stops that better than just putting them in a corner in a room and closing the door, kind of thing. And it's like grounding a kid or something like that who's been misbehaving. Sure, it works. Because what they want is that activity or that interactivity. They want you to shoot back. So if you don't shoot back, you sort of beat them at their own game. So I find it a very effective tool.
Yeah, and some people just there have been a few that have surprisingly the majority of community night is very, everyone's very cool, but there has been a few occasions with people who had to get tubed. And I'll build walls around them, so then they can't see anything either. So what's the point? They may as well just quit.
Just quit. Yeah.
Star Fox, move out. Star Fox.
Things with community nights, I have no way to kick someone from a planet.
That's right. They get they take advantage of you and your kindness to troll other players that you're helping. And that's always part of the game.
That's what I love to do in this game, is help people. I kind of just do that. That's just what I do in life. I'm just the type, like, if I find out something cool, I just want to tell everybody. I'm not going to keep it to myself. Like, hey, did you know you could glitch this fire barrel upside down? I want to tell everybody and teach them how to do it. And I just, I love helping people out.
There's a lot of players in the community that are very much alike, where we like to share our discoveries, and it's not a matter of showing off. It's a matter of sharing some different aspect of the game that others could use, to play with as well. I think that's a wonderful thing about this community is there's a lot of like-minded souls in the community. overall community, not just one, but overall, that
Overall,
people
yeah.
want to share their discoveries and their techniques and things like that. And I think that's why tutorials that are made by a lot of content creators do quite well, is because we're sharing those techniques with others so that they can experience some creativity that they may not have thought of as well, right? Um, and like I was saying to Beebs earlier, when I make a tutorial, I want people to think a little outside of the box. I want them to think and use their own creativity, and by giving them a few ideas on how they can achieve that, you see some really amazing builds, that people have come up with just by, they're not copying you, they're using a technique which you've shown them, and that makes it really kind of cool to see another player use a technique that you've taught them or that they've learned from watching your stream or tutorial. And I really dig that. I personally, I feel good when I've helped another person out there in the game.
Yeah, the tutorials and the videos and stuff, especially building, I think are super important, because a new player is going to have zero idea that you can even build things like this. I've had plenty, and I'm sure Beebs has too, people coming in your stream and being like, what the hell is that? Like, how is that even possible? Because I remember the first time I saw, like, any kind of kaleidoscope in the game, and I was like, how is that even possible? So,
Yeah.
the tutorials, and I learned, of course, from Beebs and APG streams back when they were doing those, and I learned a lot from those. But I think, yeah, that's super important. And for inspiration, like a lot of my stuff is Beeble stuff and APG stuff. I watch APG streams still and get new ideas every time.
Innovators and creativity, in my opinion. A lot of these old school builders, the original glitch builders of the game, a lot of these players are innovators in creativity, giving ideas to other players and streaming it live so that we can sort of see, how they do it, what they're doing, different looks. I've been accused of myself of using Blender. I'm like, oh, well, I'm sorry, I'm on PlayStation. That's not an available function for me. But thank you for the compliment, because if they think you're using Blender, then you're doing something that they don't understand, and to me that's a compliment, because that means that I created something which somebody hasn't thought of that is possible on your regular vanilla console.
Well, it is a big deal to pull off something that looks like it was built in Blender on regular console. That builder, I don't know if you guys know, he's mainly on Twitch, but he's on YouTube a bit. Crisscross Apple.
Yes.
Yeah, you know him? His builds are like crazy. And when I first saw him, I was like, "You did this in Blender, right?" And he's like, "No."
He's a little insane.
I don't know.
He's been posting, like, I think I still have like 3 bases I need to visit of him. They are insane bases.
They are.
I
did one visit for him on a stream once. But he's good, man.
Yes, he's a really good builder in there.
Talented.
Yeah. You have anything you want to visit? Otherwise, Zoo, or we go back to the studio.
We could go to the other zoo hub.
Okay.
Let me call my ship.
We'll meet you there.
Or to there's some nice bite beat work, and we were talking about that earlier. And there's some bite beat work out here I'm proud of. That I learned from Bortor. Remember Bortor?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
How he's doing? Because I've not seen him much lately.
He's not been around. The last I talked to him, he had gotten a new job. I think it was like a night job or something.
We hope he's doing all right. He's always a cool cat when he's in the chat.
Yeah. Bortor
Those night shifts are all consuming.
Okay, I am here.
Okay.
All right. And back out the door.
Now this one was rebuilt a few times. Still kind of a mess. It has a cool white beat and an old pyramid built with the old technique.
Right. There's been a few techniques now with the pyramids. I remember one of the first pyramids that I built. I used Kale Labs method. He's got some brilliant ideas.
Yeah, Kale's great.
How to build them as well. Yeah, that guy maps out everything. Love it.
Yeah, I like Kale a lot. I've been raiding his streams on Monday nights.
Yes, I've noticed. He loves that permadeath. So it's always fun to watch.
I definitely
want
to. If you look at, I mean, if you crisscross applesauce, for example, is amazing in creating these special looking curves and spirals and stuff. But then the Kale is ideal, and if you want to figure something out that has to be perfectly aligned, like every platonic shape or whatever. So there's so many ways you can approach building a No Man's Sky again. It's everybody has their own style and their own approach, and so much stuff to learn.
I like the stone structure you've got here. That's really kind of nice.
What is it?
This stone structure here down by the landing pads here.
Oh, yeah, the Stonehenge. Yeah, sadly, dude, that took me forever.
These stones take a fair amount of placement to put
and
in
that
place.
was before we had replacement, too. I accidentally deleted part of it, and I just left it because it was too much of a pain. But that was really hard to do.
What's
something
the reason
like
for
Stonehenge
Stonehenge?
is bit difficult. Very cool. I like the mud huts over there, like that.
Yeah, I like to throw those around my builds, like it's a little village, on the outside.
Yeah, they actually really create a nice little atmosphere to a village using those mud huts. You wouldn't have thought that those mud huts were so great in the game, but they really do add a little bit of something for kind of a style and a theme or even a mood in the game. I quite like them. I've made a couple of bases using mud huts, tree houses, and things like that, and they're really quite cool. I like using them, and they go well with a lot of other things. I know Ketrian uses them a lot for her kaleidoscopes and things like that. There's some really cool things that you can do with all of these parts here.
This kaleidoscope is taking advantage of the bite beat. So if everybody sees how it's spinning in a circle, it's not really spinning in a circle.
Guys, I'm just gonna have to take a quick toilet break. I'll be back. You guys can keep busy and talk. I put a camera mode so everybody can see something happening there. I need to take a break, otherwise, water and whiskey.
No worries.
Water and whiskey. I'll explain my
the
spinning
kaleidoscope up top here.
Yeah, so it looks like it's lighting up in a circle around it, or it should, if it's loaded correctly.
For me, it is not, but I see what you mean, where you've got the light panels.
Yeah, so basically those light panels create the illusion of a circular, each one lighting one after another, but really they're just alternating right to left every other one. So that's a good trick for anyone who wants to make a spinning circle of light floors. But yeah, that's all done with bite beat. But that's kind of what you were talking about, using bite beat in different ways.
The other another one that you've got down here is one of the classic designs of the kaleidoscope using that radar dish, exocraft radar dish here, and it looks like you've got fire barrels out on the side as well, and the tubes. That's a really nice look.
Yeah, I just put those in today, right before when I was waiting to come on stream. I just threw those in case we came out here. I figured I'd see. They look pretty good, I think.
They do, yeah. The moving parts in this game, they're slowly adding more moving parts.
Yes,
and they lend themselves really good to kaleidoscopes and people who like building the kaleidoscopes. I find them inspirational personally. When I start to lack a little creativity, I'll build a kaleidoscope and just go ham. And I find it does help my creativity an awful lot, and give me ideas on other parts that can be used within them. So, you know, quite often, well, that's interesting. Like, is that a ladder? What am I looking at here? I got a closer look.
Ladder?
um, oh, it's the tables, of course. That's what I'm seeing here. I thought it was a ladder on its side from below. I couldn't tell what I was looking at, but you've used this the table, the
Oh
antique tables
yeah,
here
I
as a
used the
walkway.
tables to make. This is meant to be a monorail,
Hmm.
Choo
but
choo.
That's
know.
cool.
So yeah, it looks a lot like Beeble's train,
Hmm.
the Polar
Yeah,
Express. That was my
yeah.
inspiration for this one.
You know, you should have submitted this to the Beeble Challenge. Actually, was it the bus station or the build a bus? Do you remember that one a
Yeah,
couple of months
it was
back
a
there?
build a bus, and
Yeah,
was it a bus or a bus station? I think it was a bus. It was a
yeah,
bus. It was a
yeah.
bus.
That's pretty cool. I like that. Nice little monorail system you got here, going from the pyramid over to this other structure over here, which looks like a train station.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was meant to be like the station. Then down there, there's actually a kind of cool glitch thing I came up with. Well, I don't know if I came up with it, but used it.
There's not a lot of coming up anymore. There's a lot of people like, I found this first.
Nah. You know, that's somewhat subjective in a lot of cases.
That doesn't
It
exist
always
anymore.
is,
Somebody else
because
has
you
it.
know there's always a guy who might not be involved with anything online who found it first. Who cares?
It doesn't
But
exist
this
anymore.
is a really nice effect if you
Oh
look
yeah,
at
I
it
like
close.
that. That's cool.
Yeah, you got to look at the center. Go up like on there, and so it's the gas extractors
Mm-hmm.
glitched onto the light floors, you know, with those the plant, and it works perfect.
Yeah,
The only
and
the
it's
only
like they're pumping towards the center there.
Yeah, the only problem I've had with that is like the more you zoom out, it seems, you know, the lights don't render. But
Hmm.
I should do something else with this because I really like those pumps, the on the gas extractors. See, that's what's so great about the game. You know, they give us a build piece that's for taking gas out of the ground, and we're making like whatever with
Well,
it.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I can think of
I
one of
love it.
my most recent builds. I used it to craft a cannon or a gun, or turret, because it kind of lends itself to that pumping action. Very cool graphics on these. I love the motion graphics that a lot of the parts have, especially the mining tools that they've given us. Some really good stuff. I like that.
Yeah,
Nicely
it's
done.
looking fantastic. Yeah, this is kind of my I don't know. I now I'm just hanging around on the freighter.
It's hard
I,
not to.
and most of my other bases are what is going on there? On Deep Stream, there's just like an animal just
Yeah,
floating.
I think that creature is called Jesus. Jesusorius.
I like what you did with these boats down on the water there. That's kind of neat. A little paddle
Oh yeah, I
boat.
forgot about those. Yeah, that was a long. This whole build was basically the majority of it before the new building came into the game.
Ah, that's nice as well with the little steamboat.
Yeah, I made little boats and little dock. There used to be a
Like the
deck out
captain on
there.
this one. Little squishy captain.
Forgot we are at
Squiddy.
normal. Let's just fix that. I mean, by the way, these planets with rivers are pretty uncommon. Uncommon. I mean, there's no streaming water, but I definitely like rivers in a planet. I wish we could see more of this kind of.
I agree. The setting for you know, a build is perfect with a river like this. This reminds me, you know, of like a river on the Nile or something like that, where it
Yeah,
winds all the way down the valley. It's
and they're
got
all over this
beaches.
planet. So yeah, if you feel like dropping a base here, feel free.
By the
because-
rivers of Babylon.
But But yeah, the little thing in the center of the river, that's another bite beat controlled thing. For anybody who doesn't know, bite beats can do more than make music. You can hook them up to lights and have them fire off at specific points to make the illusion of motion or something like that. But when I first found this build spot, the water was higher. You can
it seems to be pretty low here.
Stuff. Yeah, the water was higher, and like after updates, it changed. So, I don't know. I'm just leaving it. Wait until it comes back.
Maybe if you all pee in it. If you do a community night and just have everybody pee in it, it's gonna go higher.
Yeah, we'll do community night out here.
What's this? This is a new. I never saw a crab like this. Yeah, I did. This looks different from the top.
What, the Scottish rod down there?
Yeah, Scottish rod is down here.
Yeah, there's some interesting. Did you notice animals are going in water? This is new.
Yes.
Because at this base specifically, they all used to just line up at the water, like they were trying to walk through it. Somebody killed this animal.
Yeah, there's a predator around here. Jesus. It was Jesus.
Yeah, we got these little armless kangaroos.
Could be those as well, the bone cats. I think bone cats are always, most of the time, aggressive. Diets oxide? No, they should be actually friendly. It's only that one then. I think that's the one here.
This guy.
Fresh meat, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, that's where I hid all the bite beat stuff.
They definitely need to change that head. I don't know, this head just doesn't make sense, Hello Games.
It makes no sense. I was talking about that the other night on stream. I would love to see like some animal updates, like get rid of the ones that are just stupid. Like the ones that are like a dog walking upright with like a horse looking face, or like that face or no face, you know. I don't know.
You don't like my flying cabbage?
The one with the massive overbite.
A flying cabbage.
If they could get rid of all the hopping creatures, I would be glad.
You don't like those squishies much, do you?
I hate them.
But what about the new jellyfish?
I almost hate them as much as shuttles. I never I unlocked it, but I never used it. This is so weird. You're sitting. This doesn't make any sense as well. How can you be sitting? This defying gravity.
Yeah, that's what it does. That's what mine does anyway. Maybe I didn't feed it enough. Maybe he gets better later.
Everybody's does that. Helios, I don't know why, but yeah, Helios, you're always sideways on it.
Now, you know, Uncle...
Now this would be a build piece. Give me Helios for a build piece.
Yeah.
When I played No Man's Sky first, I actually thought it would be like Spore 3D. That was my idea. When I saw No Man's Sky, I thought it was Spore 3D, but it wasn't. It has some features of it, but it isn't. Did you ever play Spore, Zoo?
No.
It's a pretty good game. I really loved Spore. It was a really good game.
I don't know what I was playing before I got stuck on this one. I think I was just playing random games, like shorter games, like Star Wars, Jedi Fallen Order. That one.
Spore was like an evolution game, so it was pretty cool because you went from like a bacteria, you evolved into a creature, then you evolved into a culture, then you went to space, then you find center of space. It's really expansive game.
That sounds fun.
I was impressed with the mechanic. Need to watch Spore stream it. I should check it out because I really loved Spore. That was really an enjoyable game, Spore.
Yeah, I never played that one.
If you play sport, you will recognize a lot. You will... Okay. Because when I played No Man's Sky, I was expecting a lot of things to happen, but they didn't. But, okay.
Oh, is that your pet TG? You got that thing? Whatever this thing's called.
Is this the one that flies against my face here?
Yeah, it's like the flying... I don't want to say what it looks like.
Well, just look Pastizzi. That's Maltese. Pastizzi in Maltese, and you know what it means.
There you go.
There is, by the way, if you're not in the shirt, there is a pastry in Malta. It's called Pastizzi, and you can. It's like a pastry with peas or the cream, like ricotta inside. But Pastizzi means something else in Malta as well. They are really good, by the way. I never get enough of these frigates flying in.
Oh, I got some great ones when we were at the studio. You guys didn't get to see them. So
No, I
apparently
saw
the way
it,
that works.
yeah.
Oh, did you?
I got
was
one, but
great.
not at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like it happens just for one person at a time. I'm really hoping that organics start showing up.
There's no time for lubricant. There's always time for lubricant.
The organics only show up in the on the nest planets.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Do they
go to a nest planet. You will see that the organics are warping in there.
Maybe there is some truth to a place called the Void.
Maybe. Who knows? Who knows?
An alternate dimension, like the Upside Down.
I mean, there's so many questions now about the void, the void, the void. We will see an update one day.
That's been... Well, there was already an update called the Void.
No, Abyss. The Abyss was the...
The Abyss, right. The Abyss, not the Void. I don't know. I don't know if there'll ever be the Void. And I don't know if station overrides will ever do anything good.
Are they... if you go to a space station, do you still see space station overrides?
Yep.
So they didn't remove it yet, so... As long as...
I have them. That I got from pirate missions. And I believe when the update came out, that was one of the first things I tested, and it still just says it's counterfeit. So who knows? I mean, but I think a lot of the wild speculation. I don't know.
How long have we been waiting for portals?
Yeah.
More than a year. The portal glyphs and stuff, that's been more than a year waiting for them.
Oh my God! Speaking of portal glyphs, did you guys see what? If you look in your catalog and look at portal glyphs and put your mouse over it. Oh no, it's only in experimental.
Yeah, it's not going to show now here, I think.
There's been some data mining about those, and of course a fair amount of.
Oh no, it does show here.
Speculation.
Oh yeah, it's showing now. It's weird.
Damage
Shows
250 light years.
250 light years. What does this mean?
That's weird.
Yeah. They have stats and can be repaired, and it says used for refining, crafting, and charging now.
But
Like,
I
I
mean,
don't know when this got put in.
I didn't know that. I mean, I didn't
Last
take.
update, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, also the little things that have been data mined. There's definitely something going on there again about portals.
With portals. Yeah.
But I have no idea
That's
what they could
exciting.
use it for. You know, it's so confusing. Like,
Yeah.
what would be the goal of this?
Maybe to make jumping galaxies easier, like a special portal for that.
They are just crazy. Hello Games, they're crazy, and they have these ideas that you would never think about.
You're right. It probably will be something we would never think about. Like, I don't know. Well, that's where I kind of got the transporter from Star Trek in my head. Maybe that's what those new data mined icons have to do with, we will be able to build portals on our freighter, and it'll be like a special room, and you'll be able to warp down the planets.
You remember that we were talking about that it would be nice to be able to build a portal that is sending someone to a certain location. You remember we were talking about that?
Yes.
That, like, for example, like you could build like a certain, like a scavenger hunt where somebody has to find a portal and then use the portal, and it automatically sends you to a certain location on a planet without having to have the portal glyphs.
If they did that and basically allowed us to make our own missions, that would be amazing.
That would be a very cool addition.
Yes, make our own missions for other people to run, and maybe that's what they're heading towards: more player-created content.
Yeah, I definitely
we already do created a lot of the content with the builds and the, you know.
I've been telling that for a long time. I would like to see custom created, like a hub or community created expeditions. That would be really nice.
Events have been held using comm balls and various other tools to lead players to different parts of a planet. Excuse me, I've got a frog down my throat apparently. Using coordinates, planetary coordinates, or glyphs, or using the code and the signal booster to help navigate through a specific galaxy. There's ways of creating activity or events for members of communities using some of those things. The next step would be to implement that within Hello Games, to create your own mission or missions that you could share with other travelers aboard the Nexus or something to that effect. There's so many things that could be done, and I think HG has just scratched the surface on a lot of them.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Because I actually thought about, like, I was back a long time ago, I was thinking of a way I could do a quest, and I was toying around with the idea of different builds and comm balls, but it just seemed like that would be too difficult. And with the bases not always loading for everyone, I don't know.
Yeah, I think so too, Faro. I think that Hello Games might work towards that to make sure that players can create endless content themselves.
It would be a smart move on their part.
Because the community is such a strong part of from No Man's Sky that I think that would make a game endless. Just make it possible to make our own story.
Yep.
I mean,
and then you just go to the space anomaly and you can pick them.
Yeah. Of course, it has to be curated, of course, no? Because we don't want to have the sexual adventures of Beeblebum.
Yeah. Well, I would think if they did something like that, they should probably be solo missions. I don't know. I just don't think multiplayer works very well, especially like in I never use it in expeditions. That's just it's crazy.
It does hamper the ability to do a lot of things in the expeditions. I find it's not very stable, especially when you've got everybody starts in the same location or in the same system.
It's not
that
stable.
Makes it really taxing on the server.
Yeah, it's really messy. Like, I don't understand, like, people who aren't even in your group, you're getting alerts at what they're doing. It's like, I don't care what they're doing. Like,
I think the base computers and comm balls, they really tax the server really badly. And I think with expeditions specifically, they need to protect those planets from people being able to lay a base computer or communication balls. I know the last one there, everybody's fighting over this teeny tiny itty bitty piece of land over water to land their ship that is literally covered with comm balls, and there's nowhere to land because the ship won't land where there's a communication ball. And I know a few players who were forced to land several thousand units away and of course craft the Nautilon and sort of drive there in the Nautilon. And okay, it's part of gameplay to use a Nautilon, but at what point does it become a bit of a waste of time? To have to travel that far just to reach your end goal. Um, so especially when they've placed these specific locations by land, so you can land somewhat nearby the rendezvous point. I like that you can scan, as annoying as that is, that you can scan for the target location, because that avoids everybody landing in the same spot. But the having communications balls blocking the landing location is a bit of a pest, and I think they need to address that. And hopefully, just protect it like they did with portals. Make it so you're not able to build a base computer or drop a comm ball in those protected spaces like rendezvous points or starter
Exactly.
planets. Yeah, it
I-
takes away from the experience of the expedition in itself. Um, I mean, everybody likes helping other players by building a farm and whatnot, and that's pretty cool. But it doesn't necessarily have to be on the starter planet. And I think there's a time and a place for those, and not having them on a starter planet or a rendezvous planet is probably a good way to go if you're going to build a base to help other players. You can have players, warp to a system that is not protected, and that should be more than ample for helping other players with things like that, should they wish to take that help. Because not everybody wants it. Some people just want to experience it as it is, the good and the bad.
Yeah, for sure. They definitely need to do something about comm balls and bases near those like rendezvous points. They should really like make it a big radius that you cannot build because it's such a mess. Especially if you do expeditions after like a week or two. Wow.
But
boy.
I've noticed that combos are starting to disappear as well when they reach a certain.
Oh, that's good. Maybe they put a cutoff or something.
I don't know. When they reach a certain point, they
after
just
100
disappear.
After 100 discoveries, it resets, and
Uh-huh.
ones that were at the beginning of that list of 100, they disappear off of the servers, and
Mm-hmm.
the new ones take over. And so, I think we get these waves of players, where you've got in the beginning, initially, everybody is dropping a comm ball, and then it slows down a little bit, and then another week will go by, and you'll get another wave of uploads take place on a planet. And last I checked, it was about 100. You get 100 uploads
Yeah,
per
normally
planet
100, and then they
before it
start
starts
cleaning.
to.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and not only that, people are reporting them as well.
Yeah.
And recently, I've noticed that when you report a base or comm ball, now it's no longer just HG that is reviewing those reports. PlayStation is actually reviewing them now as well.
Oh, that's good.
Yes and no, because if they don't find it offensive in any way, then you're the one who gets the mark against you instead of,
Oh, yeah.
yes. So it doesn't always play to your advantage to just report something if you don't like it. Um, So yeah, I don't know when that when that change took place, but I have seen reports within my own community of that taking place now. So be careful what you report
Or play PC.
if you're on console. On PC, I don't know. I don't know where that goes. I don't know if Steam
it's
looks
just
at it. I don't think
no. Steam doesn't bother about this, I think.
It seems to me when I report something in expedition mode, like a base, like if it's in my way, it just immediately vanishes.
Yes,
from
it
my
does.
game.
I mean, I've been
That's
doing
fine
this for
me.
I
That's how
think
it used to be.
I think it would be
Yeah.
good that Hello Games gives you another option where it says just hide base. I think that would be a good option.
It would. Yeah, that would be a really good option. And that way you don't have to report it necessarily, but just hide it so that you don't
So
have
that
to
way,
see it.
that way I can
show
use.
base.
Yeah,
No
because
one.
you know what the issue is? If you have like these expeditions, somebody builds a base on top of an like the derelict freighters, the freighters we had, the crash freighters. So I cannot dig anything. So if I could just hide them without reporting them, I can dig, but the bases can't be there. That would be a good thing. Just you're not able to build another base. That's okay for me. All right. So what do we do, Zoo? We go back, or do you have still something you want to show?
Oh, I don't really have anything special.
But still very cool. I like the boats on the river. That's a very cool idea as well. And the train is a good idea with the monorail. I like that as well.
Sadly, I haven't had as much time to build as I'd like.
Yeah,
and do more exploring.
I stepped away from building as well a bit now, more and more. Because the game does allow you.
About it with the freighters. Now I really want to get that done. That's like my next thing. I want to get that freighter done, but it's hard, man. With the community night now on Friday, that's one night I can't play. Tonight I have to get ready for community night. So like my Monday and Wednesdays I get to play.
Oh, that's your freighter for Zoo. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you can go in it if you want. Yeah. See what's there so far. You can see I built 10 forward. I built the bar.
Let's check it out.
Nice.
This is because basically we got the new parts. I started building on the freighter, and then they gave us ramps, and then I'm like throwing ramps everywhere. Next thing you know, it's just a massive mess of like 7 levels of I don't know what's what. So I was like, all right, I want to do this more organized in a way that will make it more efficient too for planet hunting and
we got
frigate missions.
We got a new experimental.
Oh.
Let me check.
Experimental. Check this.
Important pages. Where are they? Experimental branch. Let's see what they added. It's an hour ago, 50 minutes ago. But there's no patch notes.
One.
Yeah, there's no patch notes yet. There's nothing in the website.
I think it's the same. They might have added a couple new things, but I bet it's the majority of it is the ones everyone's been waiting for. See, so you can still glitch on the bridge a little bit. I got the nip glitched in.
But that's the maximum distance you can glitch. No,
yeah,
it's
that's
here.
about it. Yeah, I was able to
notice
get
on
this
PC. I notice on PC there's a thin line that you can still glitch on the bridge, but on console you cannot. A few players have tried to say, show me that. Look, I can still glitch on the bridge, and they sort of can along that sort of outer perimeter there. But when I try it, it is not possible yet for me. So I do wonder if maybe there's something different between PC and console that allows you to put anything even remotely close on the bridge.
Maybe.
So this is very cool because the NPCs walking out on the freighter are actually your NPCs, Zoo.
Yeah.
They're not mine, which is very interesting. I mean, because I cannot read their inner thoughts as well. That means it's possible for them to actually spawn NPCs for other players that are not. So that should be possible on a base as well.
Yeah, this room I wanted a real simple setup so I could just go grab all the loot, sell it, boom, back out. And right now, so what I think I'm going to do is use the teleporters to get everywhere, but I only have 2 rooms right now. I got to end, 3. If we come down and go up where the menu is, that's the bar. But for some reason, the portal is no longer working in here.
I love these stairs.
There's nobody in the bar today. Sometimes they're in here.
Oh, hello. Okay, let me do the bar.
Beebs is tending.
Damn it, this stupid camera. I like the bar. Very cool. Actually, a good idea of using the industrial ones for that.
Yeah, it looks good, I think.
I'm assuming you want the coffee, DG?
Always coffee. Always room for coffee. Now we need HG to implement that into the game. Little coffee makers and the coffee that you can craft.
Yeah, I mean, Subnautica had it.
I know. I looked at that when I saw some streamers. I'm like, okay, no, HG needs to put a coffee maker in there of some kind.
Subnautica had some really cool features.
I love the one that the MSG built. That was definitely a very cool one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah, you can
come
get
on.
creative with them.
Look at
and
this.
play around.
These gags are definitely underrated. I mean, look at my gag. This is just ridiculous. Nothing
You
is.
look like an underage kid behind a bar.
ID, please.
I glitched out here, and I think that might be why the room's not powered. I used Enra's new slide glitch.
I have to check that. I don't even know what that is.
It's basically when you're building out, like if you're just doing platforms or something, and it red states, you know how it tells you it's out of the build radius.
Yeah. Okay.
If you green state it and just move it and place and get the timing right, so it's just move place and it'll go. But it's kind of sucks because even once you glitch one part in there, you can't snap others. You got to glitch every part. Because some of this is outside the build limit, and I had to glitch in all these things.
So, look, Flowery, you can see the living ships right there.
Yep.
That's the living frigates, and then the living ships are right there. See? 2 of them.
I have a living ship in my squadron. So really, aside from the bar, I just finished the engineering room and my vault, and that's pretty much it. It's like a storage room. Oh, actually, I don't have the update, but
Yeah, I know. So there's some pieces missing. I wouldn't save if I were you, so that the game doesn't mess up with it. If you save with your normal, the experimental parts might disappear, and then you have to build them again.
Oh, here's where everybody is.
Here's the part yet.
The engineering. I want to build a big reactor type thing.
Yeah, I've seen a few ideas I might be stealing from some.
Definitely want the reactor, something like that Enterprise had, or something that looks like that.
It's a cool little corner. I like that.
Yeah, that's Ryan's desk. All of my builds I still for Vortor 94. I still build offices for him.
They did change the rooms now. They said something about industrial rooms and the experimental. That they changed the floor. They changed the floor, but I cannot. Well, it should be visible here. Normally, this floor should be different where I'm standing on. But in experimental, not now.
Yeah.
It should be no longer a hexagon. It should be like a flat floor with 2 panels left and right.
Oh, I really like these floors with the spinning
Yeah,
things under it.
me too. I don't know why they changed it, but they did change it.
Damn.
Well, I think with the industrial floors, as opposed to the other rooms, remember it steps down. So it's a little bit raised, and then you have to step down to go into it. And I wonder if maybe they just sort of flattened it to match up with the other rooms at the same level when you merge, when you place rooms next to each other. Because I noticed a lot of people were a little annoyed by when you're building those rooms. When you build the industrial rooms, it's got this ramp and then steps back down into it. And I wonder if they've just sort of done away with that.
Actually, I can talk with your NPCs.
Can you learn words?
No, I can just talk to them. Regards a freighter mates with expression of unconditional affection and loyalty. The crew members' features are too diverse for them to be related biologically, but perhaps this family has treated cargo operator Woshang better than their own blood.
Wow.
Very cool. I can actually.
I love the NPCs walking around. That is just the best thing.
Wee.
I still haven't seen them walking on stairs.
Wait, are those?
That's what-
I see your missions going on as well, Zoo.
Yeah, I got missions. Yeah.
I mean, see, it's possible to show things from other players.
Yeah.
I mean, end game things, you know.
Yeah, I'm looking at your stream and you're seeing everything I'm seeing, so
Uh-huh.
pretty good. So the big idea that I thought I was gonna do maybe is a teleporter up to each level.
Uh-huh.
So the first one goes up to the bar, second one goes to engineering. I'll make a third one that goes to sick bay or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. Medbay is
But
definitely
it's hard
something.
because it's all got to be connected to the freighter.
Yes,
I
it has
just don't
to.
want have stairs running all over the place, you know.
But
make
if
it
you put corridors, walkways, or the what you call them, the walkways, you can just
Yeah.
build a walkway on top of it, and it will also power that. It's weird. As long they are like in the grid snapped, they will power.
Okay. Yeah, I bet you that one in the bar doesn't work because I glitched out there. Because it did work, and the one in engineering works. Those are powered.
Get on Beeble's
Yeah,
freighter.
that one doesn't work for me.
And are we in creative here? Oh yeah, you actually you could see
Ah.
my hangar if you want to see my hangar, but
Yeah, what do you got?
no, I think. But then you have to dismiss your freighter, I think, no, but be able to show it.
Yeah,
Yeah, we could do that.
let's all run down to our ships.
I want to see what you did with a freighter.
Well, for the moment, it's pretty bare bones, the whole thing. Let me call in my freighter. We are on the right save now, are we not? Are we on the right save for this?
Good question. You've been building on normal mode, right?
No, no, it's in creative. But I don't.
Then we're not on the...
I'm not. Yeah, it's in creative. It's in creative. Yeah, doesn't matter. Because I didn't build anything on this one here. I was.
Yeah, the freighter I have on this account does not have a lot of new parts.
I
in it.
thought I was on creative, but
I
it
liked
isn't.
how my old one was. Yeah.
Actually, I didn't even think about creative for freighter, like practicing, trying stuff out on the freighter.
This is just
That's a
no.
good
There's
idea.
nothing. There's nothing going on here. This is just a basic freighter. I didn't do anything here. No. Oh. Well, we travel back to the studio then.
Sounds good.
All right. Na 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 na.
You got a portal on your freighter. That's good.
Yes.
I hope they fix that piece. I don't like that it's crooked.
I've seen there's a mod actually. You can get your freighters.
Yeah, someone made a mod already.
Yeah, to make it straight. I
Yeah.
think it would be
I
nice
think,
to just have
Dave
like a
Enner's over.
45-degree change.
Or if they could just allow you to move it, rotate it or something.
Yeah, 45. You know, like you have like a little toggle. You can rotate your parts. Okay, I don't see anything happening on the experimental. There is an experimental like an hour ago, but there's nothing changed in the.
No, we got the patch is what happened. Because right before I joined you, I turned off experimental. So it got rid of that.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
it did the download at 254, which was like right when we started. So it had to be the patch we already had.
Since they fixed the trapdoor, what's the trapdoor? Studio hasn't been the same since I fixed the trapdoor.
Did you have a trapdoor in the studio?
No, not that I know of, at least.
We do need to put an ejection seat in there. I did work on something like that. I'm still working on it.
An ejector seat?
Yeah,
It's possible, I think.
it is possible.
Ah, yeah.
Yep.
That's cool.
Maybe something with teleporters. Like those teleporter
Yeah,
cannons people
it would
make.
be like a it would be like a cannon.
Yeah.
All right, back at the studio.
You know, this is a good system for living ship upgrades. Did you know that? When I flew my living ship down here the first time, I got 2 S-class upgrades on the way.
We're here in this
Oh,
system.
nice.
Yeah.
This is
Do
actually
you have a void egg here?
When I was, and I just ran into a planetary. I didn't stop, but something popped up when I was pulsing. You should look for a living frigate in this system. I bet there is one.
DJ Square is going to give us a show
I'm sure
again,
there
guys.
Hello, Beeblehide.
This microphone is only here for a reason, guys, and this is when we invite conflicted gaming over. Because he's gonna be singing Spinny Chair.
You need to have a chair on stage that you can spin.
That's good stage.
So-
That mic came out really good too. You a spark plug. Perfect.
Yeah, one of the spark plugs with an antenna.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
there's a lot of cool things you can do with the parts. You know, just by getting a little creative. I love what he did with the cameras here. He did a great
Oh yeah,
job.
yeah.
I can't believe
Yeah,
I
'cause you
did that.
stream
I can't believe I
videos or no?
nailed that
As a
exactly
streamer,
as I
seen
did
the
it on the
cameras?
video.
Yeah. Now and then I move the camera over so people can see the cameras if I change the angle. There you go.
Yeah, no, the cameras look great. I really like them. They look just like CCTV cameras.
Yeah, like
They
those
got
old
little
cameras.
stands
yeah,
on them.
dude.
Yeah, they got one with a tripod and one on the, it's got like the wheels and whatnot. They look good. He did a really nice job with them. It's simple, parts he's used on them, but you combine them and suddenly you've got yourself a camera or a microphone or what have you. Yeah, innovative ideas for sure. I'm gonna have to build you a table lamp here, Beeps.
A table lamp?
Yeah.
All right. Where were we? How long have you been playing? Since when did you play No Man's Sky? Actually, Zoo? Did you start from the beginning or?
No, I'm a noob compared to you guys. I started in about a little over 2 years ago, I would guess. I think the latest expedition the latest update at the time may have been either Exomech or Living Ship, so around then. And it was actually perfect timing because it was when the whole pandemic first started, and my job, we weren't really doing any work for like 2 months, so I was like, all right, I need a game. And I was looking for games, and I was looking at No Man's Sky, and I was like, I don't know. And I was thinking about Assassin's Creed or Red Dead Redemption, and I just decided to take a shot on No Man's Sky, and man, did I fall in love with it from the second it started. I loved it, and I've not stopped playing it since. It's pretty much all I've done. And then I started the channel kind of based off my anger with stasis device farming, and just kind of kept going from there, trying to do my best to make tutorials, news videos, whatever I can, and just keep growing the channel and growing the community and doing community stuff. I mean, I love doing that. The community nights have been just growing and growing. It's really fun, and I hope people appreciate them. I mean, I think they do. They say they do.
I think you reached you reached 8K subscribers like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. I don't know.
Yeah, actually, I think 2 weeks ago maybe.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Seems like you're picking up.
Yeah, I've been hustling. Well, I hustled this last expedition a lot, and then and with the endurance update, they gave us a lot to make content for. And like my
Uh-huh.
kind of content is usually walkthroughs, like for the expeditions. Those are the videos that do really well for me, or like are the
Mm-hmm.
walkthroughs. I
Yeah.
need to do like I did a walkthrough starting in normal mode, 6 episodes, 7 maybe. It took me forever because I cut out all the refining and all of that. But it's one of my most popular videos. It might be
Mm-hmm.
my most popular video, the No Man's Sky walkthrough, but I got to remake it now.
Yeah, things change every time with every update. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, now I need to change that. I think, yeah.
Every once in a while, I'll start up a fresh normal mode save to see if they change anything with the early game.
They definitely make a lot of changes. Each time, you have to look at your tutorials and decide whether or not it needs updating or not.
Yup.
Um,
Yeah.
you know, uh, yeah, definitely a difficult thing for a content creator is to put a lot of time and effort into a tutorial, and then a few months later you're redoing a said tutorial because it's changed or one small little mechanic has changed, and it
Yeah.
makes it somewhat difficult. Yeah, for sure.
That's what they did last year when we had the rerun of the expeditions. I had already had guides for all 4 of those expeditions, but they changed little things with each one. They weren't major things, but they weren't the same.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to remake all of those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I imagine
I
this
think they'll be
year
doing
they're
that.
gonna rerun them again. And
I would assume
again,
so. I would assume so.
yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm not sure, are they gonna rerun all 8?
I don't know because 8 is a lot now.
Yeah,
Wait, let's see.
Gave us 1 week each.
Let's
It
see.
would be the same as last time.
The last update last year was Frontiers. That was in September. So if they want to, they could actually drop the expedition earlier, like in October, and make them go over October, November, December, and January. Because in February they might have a next up in February and March. There's always a big gap between September and March, and before there's always like no updates in that period. So they
I
could.
have a feeling they're going to give us.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, they could just, give them all 8 expedition or 9, depending a bit. I expect to see another expedition this year.
Yeah,
What
I
do
think they're going to give us just the last 4 that we encountered. So last year we had the first 4 around Christmas holidays,
Mm-hmm.
and I think this year they're going to give us this year's 4 from
Mm-hmm.
I guess 5 to 8. And maybe in the future they'll give us all of it in one run, 1 week at a time at a different date. But you know, it takes an awful lot of time to go through them all 1 week at a time. That's 8
Mm-hmm.
weeks worth expeditions, which is really interesting, that they can set aside that time to be able to give to the community to be able to go and do them again. I like that they do that, but I don't know if that's feasible for them to do all 8 expeditions
No.
in one
Yeah.
run.
It'd be
I
nice
think
if
to
they
be able
made
to
another
do-
way to get some of those I know there's still a lot of people out there who want things like the gold vector and some of the stuff that they missed in early expeditions. And some people just want to play them for fun, I think.
Uh-huh. Or just as like a nostalgia. I want to play them again.
Yeah. It would be nice if they could have them there all the time, but
I still think the best course of action for them would be to actually create a new storyline that creates all the rewards into a storyline. I think that would be the best for them to. After every year, they just create like 4 or 5 expeditions, become one storyline that it's added to the game for the people that missed out on it.
that's a good idea.
And it would
I've
add
been
so much
I've
more
been
content,
thinking-
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been thinking more story, but now I'm so confused. What is update 4.0 gonna be? I mean, do we think big or do we think not so big?
I am holding my breath. As far as I
Yeah,
can see, Sean said that Endurance was their biggest update of the year.
Yeah, and I think this will be the biggest update of the
Yeah.
year. I've heard some other people be like, no, 4.0 is gonna be huge.
Yeah. I posted that like people don't expect too much. Just, you know, keep your expectations into check, because this is what Sean said, and everybody responded, this is not the biggest update yet. And I'm like, no, he's not saying yet. He's saying this is the biggest update of the year. There's no yet behind it, you know.
And this is a really big update if you
It's
think about it.
bigger,
I mean,
bigger
it's
than
huge.
it's bigger than you could, you know, expect.
Yeah, it's bigger than it initially seemed. Anyway, like when I first saw it, it was like, oh, cool, new freighter building, but didn't realize the new frigates had been redone, all this extra stuff.
This update was a grower, not a shower.
Which I like. That's better. They should all be like that, rather than like, you know, you see it all in a couple hours and you're done with the update.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the plan is. And they all, you know, how many times have we been speculating? The only thing I got right, wait, actually my Frontiers update speculation was right on top. That was the right one. I was correct on the date and I was correct on what was happening. But for the rest, we'd always been very, you know, like speculating, and then it's something completely different.
Yeah, I've only been right on, I think, one speculation, which I don't even know if that was right. I did a video a while back about a freighter update incoming, that they were going to be updating freighters, but that was based off the data mined. Well, no, it wasn't even data mined. It was the thing PT found, the picture that was posted on Twitter of a different freighter. He just was smart enough to have the eyes to notice that the background of the freighter looked different.
Yeah.
And that's so I made a video about that.
It's
but most people thought living freighters. That's something I hear thrown around a lot. Living freighters. I don't know.
I hope not. I mean, I hope.
Me too.
I hope it becomes what like yeah. I hope it becomes a minor update or something. But it's not something I'm really looking forward to myself.
If they ever did do it, I would only want it to look living on the outside. I would want like I already feel slimy sitting in a living ship.
I don't want to slip or
like,
you know break my neck and living frigate.
Yeah, like it's like being in the stomach of a dead whale. They're pretty. I like the way they look. I do. Some of them look really nice, but yeah, living freighter. I don't know. 4.0 might be huge update 4.0, which will be huge, but it'll be huge in the way like Switch release and
PSVR 2 maybe.
Yeah, PSVR 2, all those kind of things, and maybe we'll get something too, but that'll be like it's big for them.
Now I think it will be a big step for them, 4.0, and every time they made like, I mean, let me see, 1. When was next was 2.5. Next was 2.5 with Xbox.
Gosh, I can't remember.
3.0 was Beyond, which was PlayStation VR. So 4.0 is Switch. It's just the number, the full numbers are kind of the new devices that have been added. I would love to see an exploration update, maybe a new biome or whatever, and I think that would, you know, be a nice thing. We'll see.
Yeah, few new planets, few new animal types thrown in there. Some more ship love. I think instead of looking for like the adding things, look at what's already in the game and what they could, because I think that's what their plan is. What they already have and making it better.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe settlements become good one day or something. I don't know. So maybe someone likes them. I just don't.
They have their place, you know. Not everybody.
I think
likes
building
them.
at them is fun.
Yeah, I think it's somewhat taxing. Yeah, I mean they're great, and there's a lot of components to them. On my old PS4, I found that the rendering was really hard at settlements, and I think all the components that they use to render them in the game are pretty darn close to about a 3000 complexity if you were to build that on your own.
Right.
I've always avoided building at my own settlement simply because of the renderability aspect. It's really hard on the system. It's better on my PS5, mind you, but still, that's a lot of parts that are there rendering for your little settlement once it's all like fully established. Um, I don't know. Each person has a preference whether they like to build at their settlement or leave it stand as just a settlement, what have you. Um, but it's a nice feature in the game. I'm not sure if it has a place in the game just yet. I think there could be some improvements made to the settlements. But I like the idea of a settlement. I'd like to see some improvements made on that one, like a property manager that you could hire
Hmm.
to look after things, so you're not feel compelled to constantly go back and fend off sentinels
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
deal with
So like
ridiculous
a
little
assistant,
citizen requests.
assistant overseer.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
Or a point,
definitely.
point an overseer
Uh,
to deal with. And it very well could be moving that way in the future. I don't, after what I've seen with the freighters and how good that works with your own crew walking around it, that is just so awesome. And I would want to see the same at the settlements. Like it's your settlement. So when your freighter crew is not working, they're hanging out there maybe. That
Yeah.
would be really
Not a
neat.
bad idea.
I mean, it
Yeah,
would.
that's not a bad idea.
I think it would actually be a smart idea if you find an overseer, you check their stats, and for example, they are reckless. That means that if you hire them, they will also make reckless decisions for your settlement. It's that might be a smart. Like they have the.
Yeah, but maybe better rewards for the reckless guys.
Yeah. That's. I mean, there's
Risk reward.
risk reward. Yeah, that might be a good idea.
Hmm. Yeah. No, I like the idea of having a settlement manager,
Uh-huh.
and you would hire them. Like you hire staff for your base building components, right? When you're starting up the base missions, only you would have more decisions to make as to which kind of a person that you hire, and each person has better qualities, very much like the squadron members. If you look at the
Yeah, yeah.
stats on the squad members, some are better than others. They have different classes. And some of the notes are actually kind of humorous, in some of their, the things that they do or they're good at or not good at. But it
There's
would add to an aspect of the settlements. I think would be really a good way to go.
I
I
had
would
I
love
had
for
s- I
them
had
to
some
go more the
solo.
frigate route with, sorry, Beebs, with settlements, so you could send out your settlers on missions. Like how every once in a while it pops up, it says they want to go on a mission. Mine always fail, but I would like the ability send the settlers out and have them come back with cobalt or whatever.
Mhm.
Certain things like you could send them out.
More interactive missions. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. And initially, that's what I thought that was there more
Yeah.
interactive missions, much like the frigates before the Living Frigate update. But like Yuzu, mine always either turn up dead or just don't come
Yeah,
back.
me too. I
And
lose the people. They never
yeah,
come back.
over like
So I don't
exploring the
even let them
water
go.
or yeah.
Just imagine being able
and
to
maybe that's
join
just a
them.
bug. That would be interesting.
You
Very
you send them to
interesting.
an expedition and you join them for like an abandoned. And you kill the biological horror so you can save your own crew. I don't know. We are just
Crew members.
it's-
Maybe that's the next update. You get, instead of pets, you'll have little aliens you could pop out that
Uh-huh.
go around with you and help fight. Kind of like the squadrons.
Mhm.
I actually, even though they don't help much in the game, I love the fact that we have squadrons now.
Yeah.
Just because I like ships a lot and I want more ships than I could fly, so I just throw them in my squadron.
Yeah, they do definitely can upgrade a little bit because they are just cannon fodder now. Squadron. Because there's
Somewhat
nothing
fun.
happening. Yeah, there's nothing. Even if you have like an S-class one, or they have that many confirmed kills, or they are great at this, they don't do anything. They don't. There's no difference in
They
them.
don't help.
No.
They don't do an awful lot in
No.
terms of helping you defend your base or anything like that. They're just sort of fly around getting in your way mostly, and they do deal some damage. but there should be a higher ratio of
Yeah.
defense or help that they do based on their class, which we're
Hmm.
not seeing just yet. And maybe that's just something they haven't really worked on yet because there's so many other things they're doing. But yeah, I mean, that would be kind of nice to have them actually help a little bit more than fly in your face while you're trying to shoot a target or
Hmm.
get in your way.
Yeah, especially once you put time into upgrading them and stuff, or something like that. They should really like take out a lot of the pirates for you because that does become an annoyance after a while. I mean, we got the new deflector, which is nice. I'm really happy they gave us that
Was that
because
the scanner against the
yeah.
sentinels?
Yeah, against when the pirates come after you in space, the
Yeah,
scanner
never. I
scrambler.
hardly use that.
It works now. When it first
It does
came,
work,
it like
yeah.
never worked. Now it works like usually, like if it doesn't work the first time, it'll work the second time. So you can almost always get out of the fights.
Yeah, yeah, that's something they've needed for a long time in the game. Not everybody uses it, but
Yeah.
I think they've needed it for a long time. Is the ability to block a scan. Um, I know myself. I've learned lots of different ways of blocking a scan or having the scan disappear while I'm doing something else because it's never very good timing. Do you ever notice that you're
Yeah.
doing something and then you
Yeah,
get
it's always
scanned
when you
down?
want to be doing something else and then pirates come.
Yeah, right. So you fly into a space station, or you go into the Nexus, or you're flying to your freighter, and it blocks the scan and it's failed, and then you go about your business. But the ability to press a button and block the scan without having to waste the time to go ahead and fly into an anomaly or a space station, that definitely helps. Now I just have to install it on all my ships.
Yeah, right. Well, the living ships now have it too, for anyone who didn't know.
Yes.
Since it's been a while since I was in a living ship.
I like the living ships, and I'm so happy that they finally gave us some upgrades to put on them. They made them worth flying again. I remember when they first came out, I was so excited, and I thought there was more to them, but then unfortunately there wasn't a lot to them than what you saw. And most of the community tend to they forgot about them,
Yeah.
and just sort of let them sit. I even got rid of some of mine. I traded them and shuffled my inventory around so that I could have other ships because I didn't know when they were going to fix it. It's been about 2 years, I think, since they were first
Yeah.
introduced.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Were they
I'm
after
glad that they
synthesis?
finally did something.
I think they were after synthesis, no?
Was it
You know,
Exomech, living ship,
no,
desolation?
Desolation
Origins?
was. Let me check. I do have a
I
whole
think
list of my.
desolation was before Origins, which was awesome.
No
I couldn't tell you. After 20 updates,
Man's Sky.
it all merges together for me.
Living Ship was after synthesis, yeah. Living Ship was on the February 2020. Then Exomech became after that, then Crossplay, and then Desolation. So Living Ship was the second update after Beyond.
Good to know. I was not aware. I know that it came before the Exomech, but I haven't. Yeah, they all merge together. I just have a tough enough time trying to stay current with the the ones that are coming out and trying to gain as much knowledge as I can to pass on to other community members. Sometimes it's hard to keep up with all the things that HG gives us, especially when you introduce the expeditions in that vein as well, because you have to learn those as well and experience them. Inevitably, there's always somebody who needs a hand, who just needs a little advice on what to do with X thing. So, but I'm happy to do it in most cases. To be honest with you, I like helping others. So.
Yeah, and there's so many things in the game you can get now between things you can get in expedition mode and this mode. I wanted to do a video about like what does this do, like a series, and just like, do you need it? Can you sell it? I've done that for some expedition guides I've done, like tell people what you need and what you can sell. Because new players, they're not gonna know. Like if they dig up an ancient bone, would they know just sell it, or would they think I might need this for a quest later?
Maybe for my dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give it to your pet, see if they consume it.
Yeah, there's a lot of like unanswered questions that are not being answered by. We kind of grew with it, Every update we grew with. Oh, what's this? Ancient bones? What's that? Check it out. Oh, that's a trading But because we already knew that there is like a, these are trading only, these are crafting mainly, these are. So, but if you're jumping this game now, all this information, all these items are so overwhelming.
Yeah.
Must be, I mean, for a new player, it must be really overwhelming to understand what No Man's Sky is about.
Yeah, because I remember when I was new, I never knew what I might need later, and it's tough in the beginning too, because you got to remember the new player's going to come in, they're going to have very little inventory space too.
Mhm.
So anything kind of neat you find, you think, oh, I might need this album and pearl for something. Because they really don't give you too much instruction other than, build a metal plating and fix the ship,
So should I?
Well, each item will tell you if it's a commodity for trading or something that could be a craftable.
Yeah.
Should right, but you got to hover over it to read the description of the product or whatever it is.
I think that's the main thing as well. A lot of people don't read anymore.
They do not. They do not.
Reading, what's that? Isn't there a video on that?
Yeah. There's like, and that's what I did in my video about how to play the expedition. Read the log that is getting there, because the log will most of the time tell you what you need to do. But a lot of people are just playing this game and is like, what do I need to do now?
Yeah.
Did you read the log? What log?
Yes. I think I have a whole video just about the log.
Yeah.
I don't think many people watched it though. So there you
No,
go.
it's a pro. Yeah, they don't watch it. They don't read it.
Well, yeah. I mean, the log is super important. Even if you start in normal mode,
Mhm.
you're still going to get a million things thrown at you. Expanding the base, go hire a farmer, go do this, go do that. But at the same time, you might be on the Atlas path. And then new players also think like their first base is their forever base, I think, a lot of times.
Yeah.
They don't really understand. No, you'll be building many.
So, Zoo, what's your plan for the next coming weeks now?
Next coming weeks,
YouTube and No Man's Sky related.
Yeah, we got well, there's community night tomorrow night where I guess I'm giving out flying griffins or something. And Flowery and Miyogi and Katrine will be with me giving out crazy pets and other money things and whatever else anyone needs. And then next week, the freighter build. I'm working on the freighter build.
Mm-hmm.
That's my plans. For upcoming videos, I'm not sure yet.
Yeah,
what I'm gonna do.
There's not a lot of new things you can. I mean, maybe a little bit of updating your older tutorials, like that. But that's all for the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes if I don't have new ideas for videos, I'll go back, look at thumbnails, update those.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't really help that much, but I'll do it anyway. Or I'll make thumbnails for other people. It's all about the thumbnails. Is that a hauler out there?
I don't know. I don't see it. Probably you see it, but I don't.
It is a hauler.
Just jumping up the peak. Do you see Zoo floating as well now, DG? Okay, it's back on.
Maybe that's because I went into camera mode.
Probably could be.
Oh yeah, camera. Yeah, there it goes.
But I'm in camera mode as well. Am I floating now?
No.
Okay, good. Would be weird to have the host floating on top of his chair.
I think that was their fix because there was a glitch not too long ago where sometimes when you would go into camera mode, if you were sitting, when you would come out of camera mode, you would just fall through the planet.
Yeah, I know. When you came out of camera mode, I had that
Yeah.
several times here.
Yeah, I think that's why they let you float for a bit now.
Yeah.
Same in the freighter when you warp, freighter warp.
All right, DG, you have any more questions to ask the zoo? Oh, I don't hear DG, by the way. DG, if you're talking, I'm not hearing you.
You're muted.
No, my mistake. I had a truck outside here.
Okay.
I do have one more question. Yeah, sorry about that. I try to keep the external noise at bay if I can. Yeah, if you were to run into Sean Murray out on the street there, Sue, what would you say to him?
I'd say thank you. I'd say thank you so much for creating this universe for all of us to come together in and make new friends and build beautiful things together. That's what I'd say.
Awesome. A very popular answer.
Yes.
Sean
Is
is
it?
very loved in this. Sean is very loved in this community, and we all love and thank him for everything that he's done for us.
Well, I mean, this game has been life-changing for me. It really has. I mean, just getting to be friends with all you guys here in the YouTube community and starting the channel and like, putting a lot of work into that. It's been a life changer. And not to get too personal, but I'm disabled. So I can't there's a lot of things I can't do anymore that I used to be able to do. So No Man's Sky has been like a huge help in my life, like incredible. So yeah, like my body's a little bit broken up. It doesn't work as good as it used to, but I can still do this. And so for that, I'm just so appreciative. But mainly the most important thing I've gotten out of all of this, is the friends, the community, you guys.
Yeah. True. I mean, that's
Very
definitely
rewarding.
yeah, that's true.
The community is probably the most rewarding aspect of this game. Absolutely. I love the community and all that it's given me and all that I can give the community. And it's something that, it can't be said enough just how good the community really is. It's done so many amazing things for so many players out there. And I think it's probably one of the best components of the game itself, what it has to offer in terms of, great things that this game has to offer. It's not just about building or exploring or doing all some of those great things within the game. The community and interacting with other players like you and having these community spotlights. These are great selling points to a game, as well as entertainment value as well. I mean, who'd have guessed that we'd have three people sitting here literally doing nothing but talking about the game. And this is playing the game in a sense, right? So this aspect is one of my favorite parts about the game, is being able to communicate with other people who also enjoy the game and ask what they like to do in the game, and what holds their attention, what they like to do. So that I love every aspect of the community, even the dirty parts of it, where sometimes you have to take care of some a member who may not be acting or behaving appropriately. Sometimes being taking care of those issues as well, and keeping a community happy and always well run. That I take pride in that, and I love working with the community and its members. Most of the time, it's very rewarding, extremely rewarding.
You got somebody in.
It appears we have a visitor here. Unfortunately, my build permissions do not extend enough for me to stick them in a box.
Just gonna check some. I'm just gonna check something first. Network. No one. Let's just do no one as well. All right. All right. As always, I mean, this is gonna happen more and more now. Soon we're getting,
People
anyway,
love to join games.
Streaker,
don't always have control over that one.
They really do.
Happily not happy we don't have naked people running around here yet.
Yeah.
Streaker.
Well, thank goodness, because that was a Vikine, I think.
uh, well, Zoo, thank you so much for joining today. I really enjoyed having you.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I loved it. It was great, guys.
Once
it was always a
again,
pleasure.
yeah, indeed. So once again, guys, if you have not checked out Zoo, the link is up there on the description and the chat there, pinned comment. Go and check him out. Show him some love. Press that the subscription button. He's going to be streaming tomorrow for sure. Some No Man's Sky. It's the community night. So if you want to go and check some, get some stuff like a special pets or special eggs, go and check him out. Definitely a great content creator as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, they do some great things with that group. They're handing out all kinds of gifts and things that other players need, new players especially. So kudos to you guys for doing all that work.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
King George had to. Anyway, thank you so much, Zoo. Thank you so much, DG, for joining as well. Have a great week, of course, as usual. Guys, if you also want to keep an eye out, and I'm pretty sure that KJ and Lava Lamp will be streaming later on today, most likely in like 40 minutes, I think. So KJ, if you're still here, of anybody, any other mods, if you could drop a link to KJ and Lava Lamp as well for their stream, that would be awesome. So we're doing this every month, the second Thursday of the month. We're doing a community spotlight. If you enjoyed this, then check us out next month again for another guests and another chat as well. All right, thank you so much, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, Zoo and DG.
Always a pleasure, Beebs. Zoo,
Yeah,
thank you for letting us interview you. Had a great time today.
Guys. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.
See ya. All right, guys, I'm gonna close off the stream. Thank you so much all for joining, and I will see you again Saturday for sure on YouTube for another stream, and we'll see whatever. But thank you all for joining.
All right.
Bye bye.
Take care, everyone.
Beeblebum. Beeblebum. Beeblebum.